Hello, everybody. Can't hear Mike yet. You'll be able to hear him in a second. He's singing. There you go.
Just beautiful voice. Beautiful Mikey voice.
Like,
There we go.
we're just normal,
All right.
man.
We're just normal men.
Just ordinary man.
All right, we're getting
We're
started
just
here
normal,
momentarily.
man.
They're Italian.
Man, I might need to. I'm stuck with this diet
After that podcast, I was going around on my day, just like going just randomly. They're Italians.
They're Italians.
I mean, I'm gonna get it back up one of these. I'm sucking this one down.
That's what I heard about you.
All right, Mike's gonna get liquefied, lubricated, and ready
Chef.
to podcast.
Nice.
How many sixes do you roll in that game on Friday?
A
Every time I
lot,
look at
but
the
like,
stream, you will run in sixes.
yeah, but
That
it's
game
like
sucks.
the game was like definitely set up to like give you a lot of sixes. It's like we're talking about Garfield Lasagna Party. In case anyone's wondering, you
Lasagna
should watch
Party.
that UPF.
Oh,
it
naturally.
was very fun.
That was Chef Keith UPS.
Yes, that was a very fun UPF. And we played the lasagna party. It's a Mario Party, and I think the dice had like 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. on it.
7, and then you roll a 9 afterwards. And
Yeah, after a while, it just starts giving you a bunch of bonus ones, and I was like 9, 9, 9. Yeah, it was wild.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, Dan was teasing the hot dogs from the very beginning. He was
Yes,
talking
he
about
was-
hot
yes,
dogs all
he-
the
Yeah,
time.
what is this new format of your tweets where you tweet and then in the reply put the link to the YouTube thing? Don't you think you'll get more engagement if the link's in the first tweet?
Who gives a
No.
fuck? He doesn't pay. If you don't pay in Twitter, you're not gonna get any
No,
engagement.
so apparently,
He's 100,000 followers.
the new meta
doesn't
among
matter.
people who know, and it's not me. I'm just doing what
Okay.
they tell me to, is that people are more likely to like engage with something that doesn't have a link in it first.
Oh.
And then the people that like look to see what that's about will be like, oh, and then they'll see a reply to it that has the link, and then also it'll be like it gives the whole thread a chance to like pop twice. I mean, I did it really quickly, but whatever.
You have your rosy cheeks today, Jeff.
Yeah, I just got out of the shower. It was a hot shower.
Ooh, hot. Sexy. All right, let's go. Mods out here. Let's go.
All right, we're starting. All right,
Mm. We're just normal men.
we're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
just innocent men.
All right, we're starting. Let me get this muted. There we go. There's that. Let me test this.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start.
Mike, you hear that?
now.
They hear that. Oh man, the update. They put the timer on there big, and it's really big now. It's easy to see. Okay, cool. I think I'm ready to go. I will probably bring up the Discord on here. Remind me to mute it. I'm just gonna mute it right now. All right, Mike. I'm gonna count us in. Start recording. Let's do this thing. In
Go.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now. Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I'm a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Hey! Zelda gameplay reactions. E3 is dead again. And Dolphin is on Steam. But first, Jeff, how are you doing?
I got my nuts and bolts rock hard for Zelda.
All right, that's good to know. That's what I was wondering about that.
I'm feeling pretty good. That was a fun week so far at work. Been ready to do this podcast since that Zelda gameplay dropped earlier today. I don't know. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I got to, not wake up early for that gameplay reaction, which is the best way to consume it. So I just got to watch it later. I got to react to the giant bomb reacting to it. So it was we got very meta.
That video's on the YouTube channel, and everyone should watch. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But also, you have to watch the giant bomb one so he doesn't steal our traffic. Well, I guess it's going to be,
yeah, it was a good time. Hey, everybody, if you are watching live, thank you so much. Please do hit that thumbs up button. It helps more people find the show. If you want to ask us any questions or comment or anything, you can send a super chat. We will read all of those live on the air before the end of the show. Thank you so much. Oh, Jeff, we're glasses boys together today.
That's right. These are my gamer glasses. I actually don't. You gave me my glasses back, and now I don't know where they are again.
I was about to say you had your. I know that you didn't have your one glasses for like months because you left them at my friend's house,
man.
and you immediately lost them.
That's just stupid.
That's good.
Yeah,
well,
I'll find them.
That's all right, Jeff. So yeah, let's talk about this Zelda gameplay trailer. We got about 10 minutes of it with Anuma, the Zelda producer, kind of showcasing, playing the game for us, describing things, and it really was focused on these systems, right? These new systems, which is really the cool way to go. That's what made Breath of the Wild awesome, really, more so than the art direction or the story or any of this other stuff. It was these systems, and it's at least in that regard, this is definitely not just more of the same. We're getting a lot of new things here. I think the big one is Fuse. This idea that you can combine these items, so you can, for what they showed here was you could have a big stick. You can find a pitchfork or a trident and put that on your stick. And you just have like this mega long spear thing now.
Yep.
Yeah. Or you have a smaller stick, put a boulder on that. All of a sudden it's this big, stronger weapon. Add an eye to your arrow. Now it's a homing arrow and all this kind of stuff. And already, I think everybody's mind is just racing. Like, well, what are the possibilities here?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's still a million questions, even about these systems that they showed off. But that is the joy. Like, they were never going to tell us everything. They're like, okay, so what are we going to tell them? Let's give them basically the new gameplay fundamentals, which we played Breath of the Wild. So now we're kind of prepared to understand how we are going to incorporate these things into the game. We wouldn't have understood that before Breath of the Wild, but now they can just be like, here is this game. Here are these new gameplay mechanics, and now let your imaginations, be set on fire, because all that stuff, everything you're thinking is probably possible, or some variation upon it. It's this is going to be a game where you are going to use the ascend ability to go up a mountain. And it's like, okay, I'm at the top of this mountain, but now there's now there's no way for me to ascend through a roof. And the ascend ability is if there's a roof above you, a ceiling above you, you can zoop through it and get to the top, and you'll be, whether it's a building or a mountain, you can just take an elevator through material, basically. It's like, okay, now I'm up here. Now I see something else I want to do. Now it's like, okay, well, how can I use my abilities to make it either cool or actually to empower me to get over there in the first place? It seems impossible, but if I really put my head together, how can I do it? And for me, that is just exactly what I want from this game. I think before Breath of the Wild came out, I was just in this place where, man, wouldn't it be cool if? And then Breath of the Wild came out, and every single thought I had about wouldn't it be cool if, they put in that game, and then some. So I was just like, I can't believe that that game is real, that they actually did it, they pulled it off. It's as good as I thought it could be. And it's like, oh my God, Nintendo can make that game. Now it's like, okay, well, we know they can make that game. What if we give them 6 years to double down on all those things? And that seems to be what this game is now. And I think they are just off the charts confident in it, because if they weren't, we would have got all the story stuff. We would have got here's oh, what's going on with Ganon. Here is what's here is a dungeon if that's in the game. Here's all these things answered. And instead they're just like, here are some promises about how this game is going to blow you away in terms of fun, in terms of creativity. And now it's up to you to take these things and go. They showed us what the eye did. You mentioned that, the homing eye on the arrow. Fuse those things together. Okay, there's a whole list of other items there that they didn't use. Mostly they used the mushroom, but they didn't use anything else for the most part. It's like, oh, there's a ton of things there. What are they going to do? Most of them, you can immediately figure it out. We know what the ice thing does, but it's some of the things, it's and then can we start combining things together? Can we put this and this on there? Can we make an infinitely long pitchfork? How crazy can we get? Well, people are going to test the limits, and I can't wait to get in there and do so myself.
Mm-hmm, right. And kind of the other big mechanic here is all the Ultra Hand, right? Named after that old Nintendo toy. And this is that nuts and bolts stuff of just kind of combining things together to make makeshift structures. And then if you kind of add these wind engines that are everywhere, you turn them into vehicles. And that is just this whole other thing of, wow, where is this going to go?
Mm-hmm.
What are the limits to this? Not we can't see a limit of it in what we saw, just kind of this battery meter. And I'm not sure if that's tied to the engines themselves or if it's tied to Link. yeah, if it's like this new thing you can expand or make stronger, but there's going to be just a lot of interesting possibilities there. There's the new sort of rewind thing you can use on items, and that was an example of how you got up to the sky. And of course, there's all these sky islands, which like we know those are up there. We still don't quite really understand what is up there aside from new geography. You know, we did not see shrines or dungeons in this gameplay demo, so we're still not exactly sure. Like, you know, what is the kind of gameplay loop here? Is it the same as Breath of the Wild? And you know, I know I said before, Jeff Wu, I would really like if there's dungeons. I don't. It's not like this deal breaker to me.
No.
I'm ready to engage with the game, or whatever like gameplay loop it comes up with. There's some kind of, you know. I know I said before, I wasn't feeling excited for Tears of the Kingdom yet, and that was never because I didn't think it was going to be a good game. I just
Right.
kind of like wasn't. I just wasn't sure what to feel yet. Well, now that I got like this good look at even just these systems and have an idea of what's going to be possible, what I'm going to be doing, then yeah, I am really excited. I am looking forward to it. I think that was the good news here was seeing these new systems and also not seeing them not like back away from other things, even though there's been some like maybe
Yes.
loud minority criticism, you know, and like weapon degradation, and of course it's become this thing again, and it makes more sense than ever, Jeff, because you can combine like two bad items now into a good weapon. So of course they're going to want you to experiment with that and try it out. And that was always the point of weapon degradation.
Yes.
Was that it encourages you to engage with the game systems. You were talking not too long ago about the Titanfall 2 campaign guys being frustrated how they made this game designed so that there would be all this combat with movement, and
Yeah.
then people would just play it like Call of Duty anyways, and they're
That's
really
right.
frustrated that like you have to kind of guide people a bit to understand how they should be playing game. And of course you know, it's like, oh well, I should be able to play the game any way I want to. Like, okay, to an extent.
The game
But I'm
pushes
always-
back. It's better.
Yeah. I don't know. I am always surprised. And again, it is like it feels silly that to sit here and defend Breath of the Wild, but it always just made sense as a gameplay system to me. It was always a good gameplay system, and it's better here because again, there's more reason than ever to want to keep making new weapons and keep using new weapons.
Yeah, and yeah, to see how new things combine together instead of just using the same thing you've had this entire time, and then to not have your inventory clutter up with a bunch of the older useless stuff. I mean, that'll happen eventually, no matter what. At a certain point, as you get more and more stuff and more capacity to hold things, and that'll happen late game. But you don't want it happening right out of the gate of like, okay, well, I got the stick in the stone. I guess I'll just
That's my favorite Disney movie.
I'll just put that in my backpack, and for the rest of the game, it'll just be sitting there. Like, no, you're going to use it right there. You're going to do some awesome attacks. It's going to last a little bit longer because you combined it, but then it's going to break. And then you'll pick something else up, and you're like, well, what can I do with this? And to me, that's where the magic happens. That's brilliant. And I kind of can't wait to see it for myself. I think this game is going to be I think it's going to be magical. I really do.
And then, like the other point of maybe friction you'll see kind of as a reaction. I think most of it is positive. I think most people are in our camp, Jeff. But you do see some people saying like, "Wow, this does just look like Breath of the Wild. This looks like Breath of the Wild 1.5. This looks like it should be DLC."
I want to defend them a little bit. Like, so
Sure.
I
get it.
we're together. This game looks exactly. This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted, and I feel very lucky that that's what we're getting. Because I think the traditional wisdom in video games is if you're going to spend 6 years making something new, it needs to be something new. Who's going to remember the game from 6 years ago? Now, in this case, it's Breath of the Wild. So I think they can get away with it. But people are going to be looking at this like, it's been 6 years. This is a really long time. The next one is not going to come for another 6, maybe 7 years. The next big real Zelda game. So I'm going to go that long and I'm going to be stuck in the same map all over again. I completely get that. And right now, those people who maybe are also coming for story and coming for characters, coming for dungeons, well, they haven't been promised any of that. So they're still on the fence. They're still feeling their anxieties. And it's like, okay, I completely get all of that. But I think that this game has a lot more to offer that they haven't shown us. I think they are being very coy. I think they know what they have. I mean, I think it was Chris Kohler who was just like, the way that they did this makes it seem like this game, like they know it's an 11 out of 10 because they just showed the bare minimum and nothing else really. And you don't really do that unless you know what you have is actually just going to crush. It feels like they know.
You're right. And yeah, I do kind of have some like I do kind of empathize with that point of view a little bit. that was my first thought in the first like 30 seconds when it's just Link on the ground running around. He ran by one of those stables and it's like the same stable for a while. It's like, oh yeah, it's for a while. And then immediately there's all this new stuff and I'm excited again. But yeah, again, it's that same thing that we've been saying before. If it was like 3 years after Breath of the Wild, it was the same map. That's a very easy pill to swallow.
Yes.
But it has been like longer than any wait between Zelda games. So and you understand there's going to be a lot of similarities. It's the direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was the biggest deal ever. Of course, the next one's going to be very much like that. So I still understand some people worrying about that. And hey, people have let us know that they don't like Breath of the Wild. Those people exist. So sure, if you didn't like Breath of the Wild, then I can understand if you're not feeling it.
Yeah, I think if you're in that camp, I have to encourage you to go find a game you do like and just play that instead. Because this is, they made Zelda one way for a very long time. Then they made a Zelda this way, and it's selling 30 million copies. They're going to keep doing this. It's just, you cannot argue with what's happened here in terms of just the raw numbers. And obviously part of that is the Switch effect to a certain extent. But really, it comes down to this game. Breath of the Wild actually was that special, actually deserved that much success, actually did bring Zelda to a wider audience than ever. And so at a certain point, it's like, get used to it. I think they will also eventually get around to doing another traditional, what we call traditional Zelda now, although I don't necessarily agree with that terminology, but they'll get around to doing something like that again. It might look a lot more like A Link Between Worlds, but that's great news because Link Between Worlds fucking owns. So yeah, give me that.
They also showed that Zelda OLED that was rumored for a very long time that is, in fact, coming out on April 28th. I think pre-orders went up for that earlier today. You ordered one, right, Jeff? How much did that cost again?
I was very close to ordering one, and now I'm still thinking about it. I think if they are easy to pick up off the shelf, I'll get one, but I'm not going to rush to pre-order. I was in line at Best Buy on the website, and then it didn't let me just get one. So after tax, it's $380. I think before tax, it was like $360. I think is how it goes down.
I think really there were a lot of people I was hearing from who were like, I didn't think I want this. And then Wario64 posted a link, and I was like, I gotta get one. Even I clicked that link, and I was like, what am I doing? I don't need this. It looks cool.
I watched your talk over the talkover, and what you said was definitely the reasoning I had. I'm like, I like the way this one looks, and my kids use my other one, but it's like there is a certain hesitation there because my kids do use my other ones, and it's like, well, if I have 3. That's gonna break the digital game sharing a little bit. So I'm like, I'll have to figure that out. Like which system's gonna have the games on it, and then what do I do with this with a third system that's just sitting there without any digital games on it, or do I go back and forth with like signing in or something like it? There's no easy solution. It's really easy with 2. It's a lot more difficult with 3. So I kind of backed off because of that. I'm like, I'll have to think about that a little bit more.
It does feel like just this like special edition of a Switch is going to help boost sales a little bit, maybe even get this console a little bit closer to that 155 million it needs to become the new best-selling console of all time, huh?
Yeah, I feel like this is going to super just really juice those numbers. This game's going to sell very well. This system's going to sell very well. And then, they didn't mention DLC, but then they this game will have DLC.
It'll have that, yeah.
And with the first game, with Breath of the Wild, they definitely were like, this game's going to have DLC before the game came out. You should buy that right now. And this time around, they are instead going, it seems like they're going to hide it. And then that'll probably be something they announce around, later this year. I don't know, maybe even like when the game is like launching, like now you could buy the DLC or whatever, and it's going to come out like, this holiday. Or maybe they'll do what Elden Ring did, and a full year later or more. They'll be like, oh, now here's the DLC, or the DLC's coming. It could be another big major beat for the game later on, and I think they're going to play it that way.
They should give DLC that gets rid of weapon degradation.
Yeah, but they should charge $1,000 for it.
I like it. There you go. Any other last thoughts here, Jeff, on all this Zelda stuff? Like, I'm very excited now. It's hard to believe this game is just a couple of months away, and that time's going to go by fast. I mean, I have Resident Evil 4 right now to play till then. I have other things, by the way, like Resident Evil 4. God, that is good.
Yeah, God, it's real good. It runs really great on the Steam Deck. It is very good. Yeah, I mean, just the very personal and selfish that with the last one, Breath of the Wild, I got that game for review. I got it early. I got the Switch with it, and it was like super special. My kid was just born. I was on parental leave for a lot of it, and I just crushed that game. And this time it is very unlikely I'm going to get a review code because of Nintendo jail. So it's like
I definitely won't either. Hey,
we'll be waiting with everybody else. It's not really a problem. It's just it was fun to be like the vanguard of like, hey, everybody, no, this is as amazing as we hoped, and it's even more so. And to like be in those first reviews, I really always treasured that. And it was like this time I guess it won't, like this time that'll be the least surprising thing in the world. This game is also very good, but still. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna miss out on that. Oh well.
When's the last time you've reached out to Nintendo and tried to make any peace over?
Yeah, they. So I think Tam and Dan try. I mean, I promise you, Dan's trying for Zelda. He's been trying for Zelda for weeks now. Yeah. So I think some people over there were like, we're gonna look into it again. But I'm not expecting any movement.
That's what it's always says. It's always like, yeah, the poor PR people like, yeah, we'll check, and then it's like I imagine them going to the council.
Yes.
And they are like the scariest looking people in the world, and like they don't even have to they know exactly who you're talking about.
It's just a Palpatine from Rise of Skywalker, but it's Yamauchi. Like just Yamauchi still just alive somehow. Held together by the power of Hanafuda cards. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh God. But yeah, man, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fantastic. And if I'm playing it the same day as everyone else, fantastic. Let's do it. Let's go. That'll be great. It'll be great to be part of that
content, Jeff.
Exactly.
Stream it for a bit.
Yeah. Just be there, part of everyone else. Exactly.
Hey Jeff.
Wait. Although some of my best performing videos on YouTube are still some of the stuff that I recorded on Breath of the Wild, like just small little guides, and those things probably make like $100 every couple of months or something like that.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. All right, Jeff. Let's get to something else here. We already knew Nintendo probably wasn't going to be a part of E3, Jeff.
Yeah,
but there may not be an E3 to be a part of.
Yeah,
there's been. We've been finding out companies are pulling out now. Companies that said they were going to be there, like Ubisoft. I believe IGN was reporting that Sega and was it Tencent aren't going to be there.
That's right.
And,
they said they would be.
That rumors are swirling, Jeff, that this whole show may be getting canceled soon.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard that coming out of the weekend.
I've been hearing that even.
Yes.
So, if I'm hearing it too, that's usually a sign that something might be true. I've been hearing, again, this, like, don't expect anything. I don't know. I've been hearing as soon as tomorrow, even we might find out that there's E3 is done.
I think that is very likely. It's a shame. I really wanted E3 to work out. I think that, I think the show as constructed this year would have been pretty good. I think it was going to be pretty good. This is not falling apart because of some incompetence other than Reed Pop got started pretty late. I've talked about this before, but they just got started late, and that sort of eroded confidence along with some maybe other stuff happening behind the scenes. And the Reed Pop CEO, who's been planning to resign for a while, I guess, resigned recently, and that certainly didn't help. I guess they resigned in like the last week or so. I haven't been able to track down that too much. It's been a busy day and when I was reading that story. But so no thing called E3. Now, Ubisoft, when they pulled out, said we're going to have Ubisoft Forward Digital, whatever it's called, in LA, whatever that part means, on the 12th. So Microsoft's on the 11th. That means Ubisoft's on Monday. It is shaping up exactly like an E3 for the most part in terms of the presentations. And so, on the Bombcast today, we talked about this, and we basically decided we're still going. We're going to go to LA. So if there's reasons to be there or if not, we're going to, so if it's, if we go there and it's a ghost town, we're going to go there and that's going to be our sort of thing. Like, we're there, here it is. No one else is here. It is a ghost town. And we're going to like do a memorial for E3 and say goodbye.
Well, for you guys, it's at least an excuse to like have everybody together and
exactly have everyone together. We will try to do some nighttime shows. That's I really want to do that kind of stuff. But it's the kind of thing where it's okay. So then during the day though, like Ubisoft having a Ubisoft Forward in LA. Can we go play some of those games? Will that be a thing? Do you guys want to come over? I suppose we could try to make those things happen. It just seems very weird. And while Jeff Keighley is waiting in the wings, it is not like anyone is saying, and now we're part of Summer Game Fest.
No.
And I mean, maybe they're waiting a year to be like, to be sort of, I mean, maybe kind to the ESA and Repop to be like, well, you guys won't do one next year. And we'll just be like, well, guess what? We have no choice but to go with Jeff Keighley. But Jeff Keighley's thing is come to my stage because that's where I make my money. I don't know if if going and be like, we're part of Summer Game Fest and we're streaming on a different day and we're doing our own thing. I don't know if that ever really makes sense. So it might just in the future shape up to be like, hey, this is still basically E3 without the E3 name. Or if the E3, or maybe the E3 name gets applied very, very lightly in the future. But this year, an actual physical show called E3, almost certainly not happening.
So then the next question, Jeff, and I always say, oh, E3's not dead. Everyone says E3's dead. It's dead for blah, blah, blah. And come on, no way. This seems like it might be pretty rough to come back from if it gets canceled this time. Do you think we can actually just have an E3 next year? That everyone's going to come back like, okay, well, this time we'll all really commit and we'll all really make it happen. Or is this it? Is this actually the death of E3?
Yeah, I mean, you know, us, we both really like E3. We both sort of want to give it the benefit of the doubt. We've heard this over and over again. It's been, you know, it died in 2006. It died whenever else before. That's happened multiple times. Now here it is again. I think not being able to get a show together when there's not many excuses, and the only reason it really didn't happen is because you got started late, so other people couldn't plan. I think they are going to be like, well, we can't count on you in the future, so we're just going to build out the resources we need to do these things ourselves, and those resources are still going to be in place next year, so we're just going to use them instead of, you know, relying on you. And to me, I think that means E3 pretty much gets cut out of the picture, which, you know, that makes some sense. The E3 brand is just still very, very, very strong. People care about E3 being canceled because people want to show up for E3 or something called E3. And so, yeah, or they want to like tune in to something called E3 online from the comfort of their home. So it's like, I still think there's a chance that like E3 could be something. And we could still be going to LA for a week in June. Like that's all still feels possible, but, I don't think that there's a physical show next year. I think this is probably actually it.
Oh boy, yeah, it's a bummer if it's true, and I kind of, you know, I hope it turns around. I hope that maybe someday we can have it come back. Everyone will be there. Everyone will kind of maybe come to their senses, like because we had that famous year where E3 really scaled down.
Yeah,
People
Santa
didn't like
Monica.
it, and they just brought it back like the old big way, and everyone realized the value of it. Maybe if E3 is gone again for a while, maybe people will notice that we're missing something, that it was important. I don't know. It's hard to say because there are obviously all these benefits of these publishers and developers just sort of doing their own thing. So I guess a little bit of wait and see. But in a related note, we did bring back the E3 is dead t-shirt, didn't we, Jeff? So
yes, we did. Yeah, that's right. You can get that on the store right now. You know what? I'll see if I can find a link and post it in chat.
Sean posted it in chat
thank you.
here, actually.
And there's a description in the description for the podcast if you're listening to the audio version. If you want to get the E3 is dead shirt with Mike leaning over and me doing the peace sign over E3's grave, it's back. It's in the store. You can get it now. If you're listening to this, I'll give you a little tip. If you use code MESS, you can get 10% off, and that code will last for a week. So try to get in there, make that happen. 10% off for the first week if you use code MESS.
Oh, fun. All right, Jeff. Next little thing here. Rare co-founder Tim Stamper uploaded unseen footage of 12 Tales Conker 64. This is a fun little video of him with like...
Really? I didn't see this. Let me go check this out.
Okay, not to find this. He's like has one of those like dev cartridges, I don't know what you would call them, and he just boots up 12 Tales, and it has the whole... like its special own little intro thing. It's a completely separate game from what turned into Conker's Bad Fur Day. Obviously some stuff, but yeah, like this is that game. So, and as he says, yeah, still works 25 years later or whatever it was. Which, man, I wish that could just leak then, because I don't know how complete what he has is. You know, the video game History Foundation, whatever. Like, reach out to him, like, hey, we can, you know, like decompile that or whatever for you. Blah blah blah. Here, I just found the video for this. I'm going to send it to you in the chat right here on our Discord, Jeff, if you want to see that. Yeah. It'd be cool. It'd be really cool to see this. It's kind of weird. One of these funny what ifs, because that was a game talked about forever. They even made like the Game Boy Color Conker Goody Two Shoe game. He showed up in Diddy Kong Racing as just normal Conker, and then I think there was a there was a What Happened by Matt McMuscles about Conker not too long ago, or at some point that goes into the history of that game. If you're curious how it turned from this cutesy Mario clone into Conker's Bad Fur Day. But yeah, just really neat seeing this version of the game is still out there in some way or another.
Yeah, this is really cool. I mean, I got Conker's Bad Fur Day. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I have no real issues with it. I think the humor probably wouldn't work for me much today. It didn't even work much more for me then, but it was fine. The Mighty Pooh was pretty funny. I like cutesy platformers. This looks very fun. Give me this.
Yeah, so yeah, I hope that gets out there someday. Hey, Stranger Things have happened. Nintendo has officially released Star Fox 2 all of these years later. Like that's just a game that is out and like on my NSO Super Nintendo right now, right?
Yes.
So who knows what might happen someday? Again, I don't know how complete that version of Conker ever was, but there's a build of it. That's neat.
Right. Did that Dinosaur Planet build ever leak?
I forget if that
like
leaked or what. It sounds like it did. You're right. When you say that, I'm like, maybe it did.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
My interest in Dinosaur Planet is only so high, I'm afraid to say. It is, by the way, it is funny. People, so, we're all making nuts and bolts jokes with Tears of the Kingdom. And it's like, wow, I do like when every once in a while, person is like, you believe they would steal from Nuts and Bolts. It's like, remember Dinosaur Planet / Star Fox Adventures? Yeah. Oh, yeah, so it did leak. Sean said he's going to play it on stream this week. Wow. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Is that like, how complete is that build? That's interesting.
I think there's some things you can't get past, but there's a way to jump around. I think, again, I'm just pulling this out of memory. I can't remember. Video watchers are able to see the gameplay off of CRT of Conker's 12 Tales happening right now.
And the gameplay is like the special intro screen, right? So
yeah,
12 Tales, Conker 64. That's neat. All right. Last little thing here, Jeff. Dolphin, the GameCube emulator, is coming to Steam.
Yeah,
what?
Let's go.
Wow. So this means that you'll just be able to like install the Dolphin emulator straight from like a Steam store page. Now, obviously, you're gonna have to provide your own ROMs and stuff because ROMs again are sort of the illegal gray area here.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, for a lot of people, this might not change much, but this is going to make this easier and more accessible for a lot of people. I mean, you understand this stuff more. Maybe you could explain why this matters.
I mean, it just matters because it's cool to be on Steam. It isn't some big paradigm shift or anything like that, but it'll be cool. It'll make it more accessible to more people. More people will be likely to install it. And by going to the Steam audience, it means that the UI designers and the people designing Dolphin are going to be more likely to let's make this even simpler and make it easier to get the stuff loaded. It's already very simple. There is no real challenge to it, but they already said that they are going to improve the UI for people who might be playing on a controller or on Steam Deck. So it's like, well, that's all welcome. That's all cool. I personally will just keep installing Dolphin, just like I keep installing RetroArch, even though that's on Steam. There's just some benefits there. But if you have a Steam Deck and you're like, oh, that emulator scares me, I don't even want to go into desktop mode. Well, now you can just use this and play, F-Zero GX on your Steam Deck and be all good. Just as long as you're playing one of your legal backup ISOs instead.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, some of us are cool dudes who have awesome HDMI converters for our GameCubes, but for the peons down there, this is nice for them.
Oh, David, HDMI. Did we have HDMI? I guess no. I just had that component, right? You could get, or composite. I can't remember which one is which.
I'm not actually sure. Yeah, I don't think so.
You could probably get good cables for a Wii. I don't think it made much of a difference, though.
Yeah, but then you have to. Who wants to use a Wii to play GameCube games, man?
Well, no, to play Wii games, because the Dolphin can play Wii games as well. So.
Oh, I was about to say. I thought you were trying to say that. It's like, oh, I can play GameCubes with my Wii. It's like, yeah, I could go to the prom with my cousin, but it's not really the same thing.
Listen, I'm not a monster, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I even at the time playing GameCube games on the Wii, it was like it made it look a little bit weird, actually. And then things got but whatever. This is cool. I'm glad people can get Dolphin in a more easy way. Dolphin is incredible. It's an incredible piece of software. Right. It deserves to be in front of as many people as possible.
It's pretty incredible that you ask anybody to name one emulator, and probably the most brand recognition emulator out there in the world is the one for the GameCube, which is very far from being the best-selling console in the world. I just keep loving that GameCube glow up, Jeff.
Yep, it deserves it. Here we are. Yeah, Nesticle would probably be number 2, maybe. Project 64.
Nesticle is such a good name, but exactly. I still think Dolphin.
Oh, Dolphin's
Probably
number
the first
one with a
Dolphin's
bullet.
number one.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. All these people saying Nesticle. Like, are you people just saying Nesticle, or do you actually think Nesticle has more brand recognition than Dolphin? Because I don't
No,
know.
they don't think that. I promise you, they don't think that. If they do, they're wrong.
You'd be surprised what people think, Jeff. Jeff, that is it for our news topics. Want to read some of these super chats we got here? We'll take a little break.
Yeah, let me see here if they are going to load into this. I think this is all of them. All right. Here we go from James Gold, calling it Falling Rocks Are Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, I think that's probably right. I think it's because, I mean, the kingdom falling down from the sky. They're the tears of the kingdom. I mean, I'll buy it, but maybe there's more to it. What do you think, Mike?
I think that there isn't going to be like like how it's not exactly clear what the Breath of the Wild is.
Sure.
I don't know if the Tears of the Kingdom are going to be any big thing. There might be like a lot of things that sort of gesture at that concept, like these falling pieces from the sky, like Zelda crying at some point. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be like the Wind Waker or the Ocarina of Time, where it's some bespoke thing that has this manifested physical form.
From Burrito, just wanted to say hello, dogs, or Jeff, 2 more plain hot dogs, Grubb, and Mike, 2 more plain hot dogs, Minotti, and then he does the wave emoji and the hot dog emoji. Thank you so much, Burrito. I appreciate that. Nintenderic, in the past, I've appreciated your game mess list for all the summer events. Do you still plan on doing that this year? It seems important this year. Yes, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll keep up with that as best I can. It's seems like it's gonna be a real mess this year, so we'll do what we can. I do it for, like, at this point, I'll just do it kind of for work and see how we can stay ahead of everything. But I'll definitely share it. We'll talk about it on Giant Bomb. We'll talk about it on Game S Mornings, things like that. From Winter Gamer, now that the Wii U and 3DS shops are officially closed, what is the likelihood that next year we'll see games ported over to the Switch now? Next year we will see games ported over to the Switch now. Okay, so like Wii U games and 3DS games. I mean, I think that'll still keep happening. I think that
Right. I mean,
yeah.
For Wii U, there's not much for them to port at this point, aside from like Star Fox Zero and Xenoblade Chronicles X
and Zelda HD.
The Zelda HD games, right? So there's like a few. I bet we'll get some more of those. 3DS is different because there's extra work you have to put in there. So I would love to see, Link Between Worlds, or even those 3DS versions of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask get a glow up. Like even like a Switch version of Fire Emblem Awakening would be cool. But we have 3DS ports. That hasn't really happened yet. That one might be more difficult. But that's the one where you wonder, are they more incentivized now with those shops being closed? I don't know if they are. They might still happen someday, but I don't know if they're thinking like, well, fair is fair. Now that people can't buy these on the 3DS anymore, we have to make sure there's another way for them to get them, right?
Yeah, that's not how they're thinking about it. I don't think they are
right.
Definitely going to be like, when this makes sense for us business wise.
Yeah, and Mechanized says, Etrian Odyssey remasters are on the way, so that's true. There's probably some other like kind of third parties doing their own thing there. But in terms of Nintendo, like, have we had any like 3DS games remastered for Switch? We haven't had Metroid: Samus Returns that I could think of. Like, there's no Mario Land. So yeah, I don't know if they've been thinking about that very much yet. We definitely, and it's a tragedy, we don't have Federation Force yet. Somehow, I can't believe it. Metopia. Oh, Metopia. Great. I don't know. I think you're proving my point, really. How much of an afterthought it is if Metopia. There's rumors about that Kid Icarus Uprising. And that would be great. That would be smart. That's I hope that one's true. And maybe that can kind of open the floodgates a bit if it is true, for sure.
I went to lyrics.com and I searched by word. And one song by Futuristic Sex Robots has Nesticle mentioned in it, and I couldn't find any that mentioned dolphin, but I had to search like dolphin and emulator, try to.
That's kind of rough because dolphin's just the word.
Exactly. So I would
that's
dolphin minus
saying
mammals. Yeah, that's not going to help.
Rough.
But hey, one mentions Nesticle, so there you go.
Good to know. There's a lot of those, like, I remember in the 2000s there was a ton of just like fan rock bands just playing NES songs. The Neskimos was one of them.
Yeah,
that was a good pun.
Absolutely, that was a good time. Now we just have basically professional musicians playing awesome covers, like of all kinds of versions on YouTube. It's a
Yeah.
golden age for that kind of stuff.
It's a bit of a shame that like the one really cool touring orchestral thing doing music was run by Tommy Tyler.
Why is that a shame? He made Metroid Prime.
Well, it's a shame because I don't think they're doing it anymore. Is why it's a shame.
Weird
yeah.
that no one wants to work with him.
Yeah. Hey Jeff, you have a good birthday week?
I did. I had a good time. We went out. We went to Main Event, which is like a Dave and Buster's sort of barcade thing. We played some Cruise and Blast. That was fun. We got you got 1,000 tickets from the tower game, so you had a bunch of tickets.
Hologram stacking game. Yes, I was very good at that.
Yes, and so then we played a bunch of other stuff. I played a Flappy Bird game and got a pretty good amount of tickets from that. And
yeah, you told me not to embarrass you, and then I immediately died. When
yes, immediately. I'm like, we did a 2-player mode of that, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna get to at least like 40 or 50 here. Don't die like way before that, and you died on like the third one.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, but it was a really good time. I've made my peace with what those arcades are now. Those mostly ticket games. I'm kind of like actually relieved that some of the ticket games are actually just straight up video games. I think that's fine. Most of the cool games that I liked were made by Raw Thrills, which is one of the founders of that was one of the early employees at Atari. So it's like, hey, yeah, this is a good time. I had a good time, and then we went downtown. We went to 16-bit, which is another barcade that just has actual classic arcade machines, all on free play. And again, that's just a really great time. I really liked. I'm glad we went back there.
The best was you and my brother AJ was with us. Found this like nice lounge section that had a bunch of Genesis minis.
Yep.
And you two were just both playing Shinobi 3. And I'm a big Shinobi 3 advocate,
Yep.
so I got very excited to just
drink
and watch you play Shinobi 3.
Yeah, you were getting a drink, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go sit over here. I see the chairs open. These are big, comfy chairs. I did this last time. I know they have the Genesis Mini set up, so I'm just gonna sit down and see what strikes me. And I'm like, oh yeah, Shinobi 3. I'm like, that's the game I'm in the mood for. That's like a pretty easy one just to get into. And I played that. Then you were coming back to the bar. You're like, someone's playing Shinobi 3, and then you came over and saw it was us. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then I was playing Tapper, and I'm playing Tapper, and I had a friend Dave was over there with me, and we were just kind of minding our own business. And then this woman turns to me and she says, "Sir," and I thought that was very funny. "Sir, how do you say Galaga?" And I'm like, and she's like, "Is it Galaga or Galaga?" And I could have just died. I'm like, this was incredible. It's Galaga. But can you go over to that? It was you. It was Ash guy, and then you.
Me and AJ were playing Final Fight at the time.
Right on the other side. Basically, she was between us. And I'm like, can you go over to that second bald man right there and tell him how it's pronounced? What I just said. And she just went right over to you and said it. And then you were like, how'd you get her to say that? I'm like, she asked me.
I was so confused.
She asked me.
This random woman. I was like, it's Galaga. And then, like, she was like, hee, and I walked away. I was like, what the hell?
It was it was a very fun time. So I had a good birthday weekend. It was fun. I think I left my debit card down at where's the place where you get the French toast beer, but it was sold out.
Oh no, Southern Tier.
Yeah, I got it. They gave it back, but I must have just left it in the little tray or something like that. So
oh no,
I'll get down there and get it back. I'm sure they're just holding on to it. I'll give them a call and see what they say.
You got a beer there that you hated. Get another one of
Yeah,
those.
I'll go there and actually see if they have the French toast beer back and actually
they're
get that.
out of the French toast beer there.
Yes,
but yeah, it was a shame. But yeah. Yeah, we went to Mabel's, Michael Simon's restaurant.
So good.
So good. It was what you got like a bowl called "This is Cleveland."
Yes.
Like this is Sparta, and it was just filled with ribs, pulled, but no, not pulled pork. It was ribs, brisket.
I think they pulled chicken.
No, it was pulled pork also, and
pulled
then
pork,
like sauerkraut and other stuff. And you
it was
slathered
so
it in that
good.
that sauce you love.
So good. Yeah, and that barbecue sauce continues to be amazing. You bought us all a bottle of the Michael Simon Mabel's barbecue sauce, the Cleveland barbecue sauce, and I've been putting that on stuff here and there, and boy, it's just so tasty. So yeah, it was a great time. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for taking me out. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, look at this! It's X-Core gifted a Jeff Grubb Game Mess membership. Wow.
Thank you, X-Core. So yeah, the gift subs are working now, everybody. So
look at that.
Look out for that. Maybe we could do something with that in the future where we can have like goals or something like that. But X-Core, thank you so much, man. Thanks for testing it out. I think that's the first gifted membership on the channel. So shout outs to you.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, so you gave it to JG from Space.
How is space? I'm curious because we might have to move there someday soon. I don't know. All right. Well, hey, look at that. We already got 100 thumbs up. We don't even have to beg for that. Thank you, everybody. We're gonna take a short break here. When we come back, we've got questions from the community. We're going to talk about the Nintendo games we've been playing. Hibbity Bibbers in Space, Ohio. There's a moon, Ohio. Or is
Man, I
that in
would love to live
Pennsylvania,
on the
actually?
moon.
That's in Pennsylvania. It's right by the airport, Moon, Pennsylvania. I always laugh because you go to the airport, you have to drive by like all these signs that just look like normal highway signs that say moon. Take this exit for
Take
moon.
this exit for moon. Oh, I love that. That's
Okay.
great.
It's good stuff. All right, Juan, we'll be right back in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't have to go to the bathroom, actually.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. That was actually really scary.
I couldn't even see it. I saw it later. It's like, what the hell is that?
There was a balloon and it just popped in my face.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Hey, Rachel Acker giving a first super chat. We'll read that when
First
we're going
super
again.
chat. I even know it told us when people did first super chat.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rachel.
YouTube apparently updated for us or something.
Oh,
So
that's neat.
cool.
That's cool. Oh yeah, JG is from Cleveland actually, so maybe he can go get your credit card.
Thank you.
It's Southern Tier.
Sorry, my kids put a bunch of balloons here, and I just got the sudden male urge to blow up a balloon. You guys get it?
Did they play with their little duck and the Easter Lego things that I got them?
Yes, they've been playing. They play with it, and then they play with it. They like bring it and play with all their other stuff. But the big thing today was they had a stink bug in the house, one of those little round guys that are like harmless, and they built a home for him and all that stuff, and gave a box, and that was the whole day. So
that's good.
All
That's
right,
the whole day, man.
basically.
That's a busy
Well,
day.
they went to school, but then they got home. That was it. All right. I don't need to go potty or anything. I think I'm good to go though.
Let me open up these the thread here for the questions. All right, I got it.
Yep. All right, it's all you.
And we are back, Jeff. Let's get into these community questions.
So you want to read this super chat from Rachel first, or?
Well, would like you to read it. Since
That's what I
your
meant.
job.
That's what I meant. Rachel Acker. I got pulled back into Tomodachi Life on the 3DS. It never had a direct sequel. What other games do you wish got an official sequel? Yeah, I love Tomodachi Life. That's a really fun one. For some reason I thought there might be ones before that are Japanese only or Japan only, and
I don't know if it's. Oh, is that true? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I always got that sense, but that could be wrong. I don't know. I just assumed that, I think, and never actually looked into it. So it's like I wonder if there's like fan translations of those that may not exist. But games that I wish it was a Street Pass game. That would have been weird. Yeah, but yeah. There was like Tomodachi like stuff related to that, but that was just a lot of me games. Games that never got a sequel that you wish did. Mike, do you want to go with your go-to?
Star Tropics.
Yes.
Is that what yeah. I mean, Star Tropics got a sequel, but
Right.
like for a very long time ago. And I really want like a new Star Tropics. Absolutely. Someone, Dominic Freza says Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door. Again, we have kind of sequels.
Yeah,
of that,
kind of.
but it's
Not
messed
really.
up. It's messed up.
Yeah, I mean, even
Oh,
Super Mario RPG, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
Paper Mario
the
was
original-
called Super Mario RPG 2, but no, come on. You know what I mean.
Yeah. There's that Hibbity Bibbert says Henry Hatsworth, which is like straight up Nintendo, but man, that's a good game.
That's EA. That's Electronic Arts.
That's
Yeah.
what? No, that's fucked up. No way.
Yes, it is. Yeah, EA made
That-
Henry Hatsworth. Or they published it
weird.
at least. Yeah, that was always a weird one. But yeah, that's we're all caught up on super chats again. Thank you so much, Rachel.
All right. There was like that one like kind of tropical town in Breath of the Wild, and it was just like, man, there was just a freaking Star Tropics game that was just a Breath of the Wild clone, but like slightly more Star Tropics-y. God, that'd be amazing. Tink says, now that the 3DS and Wii U eShops are done, it feels like a ton of games will be lost to history. Aftermarket prices for 3DSs are nuts. Do y'all think Nintendo would ever release another dual screen system and bring some of those games to NSO/sell updated ports, or is that a pipe dream? Seems like money left on the table for them. Yeah, it's this kind of problem, Jeff, with the DS and 3DS and the Wii U to a degree, where because of this dual screen nature, it's not just like as easy as saying, well, we'll just emulate it on our Steam Decks or computer someday. For some games, that works surprisingly fine. You
Yes,
just emulate
that's
it
right.
on those things, and it's okay. But it is like different. It's maybe not ideal. There is something to just having that original hardware. I sure do hope that someday they will just make either their new system is somehow dual screen again, so it'll be really easy for them to do like virtual consoles or NSO consoles for these things, or maybe they can make another retro console again. They could just like release something that looks like a 3DS and a DS and it just has all these built-in games, and then we'll very easily be able to jailbreak them and add more. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think someone's gonna come up with a solution for this eventually. I bet if 2-3 years we get a Kickstarter or Indiegogo for, hey, this is the dual screen emulation device that everyone's been asking for, and it's going to be super good so it can last you for a very long time. And basically it's just going to solve all these problems, and there you go. And it's going to have this perfect, a lot like Analog Pocket, right? It'll be a lot like that for and I don't necessarily think Analog will do it, but one of these companies will probably go and try to figure that out. And I'll welcome it. And I think that'll be the right way to do it for like the most of us that care. In the meantime, though, hang on to your 3DSs. Hack them also. Hack your 3DS. It's the easiest thing in the world. It's very easy to follow that guy. Just hack them and get the H chop if you have to. Commit some crimes.
Even if we get another dual screen system, we're probably not going to get one with that 3D support anytime soon.
Yeah,
which,
exactly.
I still think is really cool. Thank you. Rachel says thank you thank you for watching and engaging, and not least importantly for your money. Velocity Prime says happy Tuesday to Jeff 40 Grubb and Mike the Machine Minotti. Ooh, I like that. I recently read an article about the difficulty of naming movies, and it made me think, what do you think makes a good name for a video game? More than most mediums, it feels like game titles can be arbitrary nouns and numbers. So what makes a title sing? I haven't come up with a topic for next week yet, so I like this. What is the best name for a Nintendo game?
I like it.
All right, so there we go. I think that it has to be both descriptive and kind of fun. Like it doesn't necessarily have to have alliteration, but that helps. That's why I like Wind Waker. It's descriptive. It tells me what's kind of going on a little bit in that game. With the fun alliteration. Breath of the Wild's good too. It's maybe not super descriptive. It is evocative of kind of what you can expect though, so that works, right?
Yeah. Right. I think if you are just going for, if you're Zelda, you could kind of get away with a lot. But
yeah,
if you're a new game and you are, let's say, like a team-based shooter, and you got to name it something, it's like, what? Fucking hyenas. Who gives a shit? Like, let's just name it whatever. It's tough. It seems like a rough business to be in, and yet you also have to kind of come up with something that does stand out, so you could trademark it. And there's all these reasons to be able to do that. So, but like, I kind of like where movies are at, where it's just like, there's money heist. Well, that's okay.
Plane.
Plane. Murder mystery. Netflix has Murder Mystery 2. And I'm like, what the fuck? All right. And then, John Wick, Tetris. There's a lot of ones like this. It's just the thing. All right, cool. I'm down. But yeah, I think video games are kind of, they'll be fine for a while. Eventually, it is just going to be like the thing. There will be eventually just playing the movie, the game, which I'm very excited to play.
What's the worst name for Nintendo game? Super Mario 3D World is still really stupid.
Well,
that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, the worst ones are probably like Super Mario Advance 4, like Super Mario Brothers 3, whatever it was.
That's great. That's good.
Yeah.
Chuck 1991 says, greetings, Jeff, Hall, Grubb, and Mike Oates Minotti. So I finally became a criminal. Oh, good for you. I was hoping that having easy access to a digital library of retro games would allow me to part with my physical collection, but I still can't bring myself to do it. What's wrong with me? Having a physical collection is always about more than having access to games. You think I've played every single one of these GameCube games that I own? You think
just the Shrek games. That's it.
Just the Shrek games. Absolutely. Look, if you're not, obviously if you're like hurting for money or whatever, then yeah, like, maybe sell them. But, it seems like at least for now, games are only going to be going up in value for a bit here still. So don't feel bad about not selling them if you don't feel like you want to.
Yeah. We're humans get attached to things. We give them intrinsic value. That's a whole thing. Like we do that all the time. It's very easy to be like, man, this thing is important to me, and if it sparks joy, keep it. For me, it is all about like games or experiences. So I was able to be like, okay, I want to just focus on the experience part. But that doesn't mean there's something wrong with like the way you're doing things.
You know what doesn't spark joy? I'm showing this side of it so people see my address, but this came in addressed to Mitch Tokoda. So I think I know it's from it. This is my Blight Club game.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
not allowed to see.
Oh my god, weeks until you could open that, but
Weeks till I can open this. So it's gonna be like
Oh my
resistant
God.
temptation here.
oh man.
All I know is that it's a game for the original Xbox.
Okay,
all I
that's
know.
great. Everyone tell Dan that that Mitch Tokoto got his package.
Now he knows. I
Okay,
told him when
okay.
we recorded to play it forward. I
Okay,
told him the game,
fantastic.
and he's very excited.
Good.
So, oh boy. Everyone's like, you tease. Look, I'm just as teased as you guys are. I don't know what it is.
He doesn't know. I do.
I'm following instructions.
I'm teased.
Yeah, you always were. Truman says, all right, dogs, it's time to hear me vent. I'm fresh back from a day at Super Nintendo World, and boy, was that a letdown. I hope you both enjoy your trip, but temper those expectations beforehand because it is damn small and the lines are atrocious. Overall, the experience was mediocre, but it's partially my fault for thinking it's going to be more immersive. I can't say anything about the cafe because the wait time was 5 hours. I mean, yeah, waits always get ridiculous for these new things, Jeff.
Yeah, we're expecting that.
I'm kind of used to that. I've been trying to temper people's expectations about how big this was for a long time. You know that,
Right, I think,
especially this Hollywood version.
It's not like some tiny version, like some tiny thing compared to other things like this, right? It's just normal size for one of these things, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe even then a little bit, not much. Like maybe the Avatar area in Disney World is bigger than it's still, sure.
Right, but that's like
still.
fully built out, and it is what it's going to be, right? They're not going to add on modules to the Avatar thing, right?
No, well, they're not adding on modules to this Hollywood one
That's
either.
fair.
There's no more
Right,
space.
Hollywood, right? That's right.
And I talked before about how little space they have in Hollywood for this thing, but I don't, I have heard this before. I also heard a lot of people say that they like it. I'm sure I'm still going to enjoy it quite a bit. I think I'm pretty good with my expectations for these kind of things. And look, I'm easy to please with theme park stuff, honestly. And if you have a whole Mario themed area of your theme park, I'm gonna have a pretty good time. But I'm sorry, you had a rough go of it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Dr. Suss says, hey, turd burglars, you guys commented on the high cost of cartridges for Nintendo and third-party devs. If Nintendo maintains the hybrid concept, there will be no disk drive. So to what format can they change their physical games to increase capacity without having to increase the price too much? Please don't say anything about cartridges, Jeff.
I've never commented on cartridges
Okay,
for the
very
Switch because they don't exist.
Oh my god. Okay, well look, you know what he means. Cards. I mean, look, the next Switch is just going to use something similar, and things are going to continue to trend more towards digital, of course. But yeah, they're just going to spend that money making those carts. Is that the one you're okay with? Can I call them carts?
Cards.
Oh god. Okay, yeah, they'll keep making those cards too, right?
Yes, that's yeah. I mean, yeah, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna switch. Probably. They'll
switch for the next Switch.
Yeah, they're not going to switch for the next Switch. The prices will probably keep going down slowly for these things. But I think the plan will just be, let's keep doing what we've been doing, try to keep games under 32 gigabytes, use that as the biggest one that is available on the market, not the biggest one that they've made.
Oh man, you're bringing out a lot of hits.
Yeah, it's just the greatest hits tonight, baby.
Jeez.
Let's go. Yeah.
Holy crap.
And then, if we have to have a bigger game than 32 gigabytes, we'll just fucking download it. Who cares? You all have the internet. And if you don't, it's a Switch. Take it to McDonald's and download it there. They're just going to probably keep using the cards. I mean, maybe they'll have something else, but what they'll probably do is just like have an update to the eShop and the stuff like that, and have a bigger internal storage, things along those lines. Maybe that's a pipe dream. I would really like for them to have an SSD. That would be cool.
Gerber says, a ROM of the PC Engine game Toilet Kids, an isekai, was pre-installed on this otherwise lovely handheld I recently bought. It's got one hell of an intro, roughly 25 seconds of the video. Note, after consulting TurboSean, I'm just adding a warning to not show it on stream until after you watch. Oh, okay, then we'll watch this later then. I've never heard of Toilet Kids. I can only imagine, though.
Man, I got that racist Super Nintendo. This feels like one of those games that'd be on there.
I bet you did, Jeff.
I haven't opened it yet. I got it over there. So
yeah, I'm gonna watch this real quick. I don't know. It's hard to yeah. Oh man, oh my god. No.
What is happening?
Wait, they're not actually going to.
What is happening? Describe it.
Oh, I saw. No, I'm not gonna say those words out loud.
Butthole.
Look, the kid. No, but let's just say that the word Toilet Kids is very accurate descriptor.
Oh, Okay. Well,
And
we're not going to show that on the podcast, everybody.
Jeff,
Sorry.
but no, don't. I'm not going to say it.
No, I get it.
Okay. Super Hartman says, I was recently speaking to my older coworker about the upcoming Tetris movie and related a story about how on a road trip, I woke up one morning to find my Game Boy had flat batteries as my dad was up late playing Tetris. She decided to one-up me and say that her primary memories of Tetris on Game Boy was playing it after dropping acid, thus enhancing the Tetris effect. Anyway, what's your favorite music track on the Game Boy Tetris? While A is iconic, I'm actually partial to B. Oh, it's A all the way for me.
I like B a lot, but it is A.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I never actually got the Tetris effect. I got that effect from two other things. I one time had a awful case of Pokemon Puzzle League effects back when that one was out.
Sure,
where
God.
I literally couldn't sleep because I just saw those tiles. I saw the
famous
panels.
Pokemon
Right.
Puzzle League effect. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was nuts. Then I actually, especially when I was playing Diablo 2, got a Diablo 2 effect at time where I was just seeing that those orbs, those blue and red orbs for my health and mana, like in all my dreams, and I was going. I just saw them so much. So those are my effects.
I played so much Assassin's Creed Brotherhood that basically anytime I saw a wall or a pipe, I'm like, I can climb that. Like my brain was just. Oh shit! I just knocked down the stream deck. Oh my god!
Not this keyboard too. I already broke my last one. I gotta get a paper towel.
Oh man, I'm breaking stuff too over here. I dropped my stream deck. Oh no! All right, guys, we're taking a quick break while we get this show back on rails. He really did break his keyboard. All right, how do I fix this? Okay, all right, let's see here.
What the fuck is happening here?
This is a good
What the hell is
podcast.
going
What's your
on?
problem? I don't know. What's your issue? I don't see any problem. All right, so
What are you talking
this
about?
contraption that holds up the first generation of Stream
Toilet
Deck is
kits
like
and shit.
so confusing.
You're okay, baby. You're okay. This
Oh,
little
boy.
green
This is all
tea.
staying
that-
in. This is
Do
all
you have
staying
to
in.
buy another keyboard now?
I better not.
God.
I'm pushing a lot of buttons right now as I clean it, though. Hopefully nothing breaks.
All right. I mean, do you have to, wait, I guess you probably need your keyboard plugged in. I was like, maybe just unplug it for a while, let it dry.
Oh,
but-
that'd be hard.
Yep. Fair
Who
enough.
has time for that?
I
These are all good buttons.
mean, I never
happened?
did
Just
actually
give me some,
climb
man.
anything. I just looked at it and thought I
just
could.
loved the audacity of you. I can climb that.
I can climb that.
Mike, unplug it. Nah.
No, I
Sounds
mean,
like
listen,
work.
it's just
Well,
money.
what did you drop? Was it just water? Or what?
Oh, I spat out my green tea. Why are you here? Get out
Oh,
of
that's
here.
kind of sugary.
Yeah,
You
it
said
is kinda-
we're taking a break.
No, not really. Not really. This is all staying in. Bye, Christian.
Well, okay.
Why are you here? Right. Very good.
So this is a good show. I think we do here. Professional.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. There's been a few times now where you've been unhappy with the quality of this. So I'm glad you think we're doing a good job. Next question here is from Casual. Here, Jeff, Pogs need to make a comeback like yesterday, Grubb, and Mike, the George Floridian Minotti. What's your number one most wanted NSO game for each system? Okay, let's go one at a time here, Jeff. I'm going to name a system, name a game that's not on there that you would like to see on there.
Okay. Go ahead.
NES.
Yeah, I you know, is the NES version of Tetris actually on there? I don't think they put
Oh,
that.
come on. Of all the things,
Well,
that's what you
that's
want.
that's the
just
one.
what you're thinking of.
Well, it is. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff already on. They. I mean, if I could have like any sort of license game,
Yeah, DuckTales.
yeah, the Tecmo Bowl. Give me that.
Yeah, I want DuckTales. SNES. I mean, Super Mario RPG, right?
Yes, clearly. I mean, Super Mario RPG. Yes.
Yeah, although they should put Terranigma on there. Nintendo 64.
Yeah. Let's see. It's probably going to be one of the other rare games. Probably Diddy Kong Racing.
If it's gonna be a rare game, maybe I think Blast Corps. Oh, I would like
Blast Corps would be
Bomberman
great.
64 on there. Actually,
That'd be
play
great,
with
too.
Bomberman 64 was cool, and that's what like why not? Like
Yeah.
actually, like come on,
Totally.
that can't be that hard a deal to make. Original Game Boy, Donkey Kong 94 for me.
Donkey Kong 94 for me.
Game Boy Color.
Warlocked, please. Warlocked, which is the
Oh, yeah.
Warcraft game for Game Boy, basically.
That'd be cool. Pokemon Crystal would also be pretty cool on that. Or the Mega Man Extreme games would be good. And then Game Boy Advance. I mean, Metroid Zero Mission is a very big one there for me. that Astro Boy game would be really cool, for sure. Gunstar Heroes Advance or whatever it's called would be a lot of fun.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Is there, Game Boy Advance. You want to say?
I mean, they've announced a lot of the ones that I wanted immediately. I was actually I guess I guess I kind of want the Game Boy Advance versions of Advance Wars on there as well, just because the art style is so different. That'd be nice to have those.
And then
Astro Boy's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Genesis. I'm trying to think which. Oh, Shadow Dancer's not on Genesis yet for some reason, and Shadow Dancer's just Shinobi with a dog friend. So I would be a big fan of that.
Just cheat and do some 32X games and do like the 32X version of like Virtual Racer and stuff like that.
Calibri or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Do Sega CD.
Oh, Derek's right. Rocket Knight Adventures is not on Genesis. Come on, that'd
No.
be so good. How the hell is it not? Then I can make Rebecca Stone play it.
Nope, she's never allowed to play it. It's too perfect.
All right. Mr. Bowler says, "Hey, Mike, no, you can't just pick Bigfoot for the Splash Fest if you don't actually think it exists, Minotti." And Jeff, Team Bigfoot go pew pew Grubb. Wow, that's perfect. Wait, well, Forrestman's like, wait, what am I not allowed to play? Yeah, remember Rocket Knight Adventure, Rebecca? That's that Genesis game I picked.
No, she doesn't remember.
She doesn't remember. You tweeted like,
For you, it was the most important day of your life. For her, it was Tuesday.
It wasn't even directed at me. It was
It was your pick on your thing, on your draft.
I aged 30 years when she tweeted, "Have fun, I guess." It was just a picture of the box art with Sparkster looking dopey and cute.
Looking dumb. Yeah. Oh, man.
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah, got it.
Poor Forcefish was probably like doing something else, just heard her name. She said she'll play it for me. Yes, that's on your summer to-do list. Yep, it is. She's gonna love it. It's a great game.
Not allowed.
Fantastic game. Anyways, Mr. Buller actually goes on here, says, "All right, old dogs, it's time to teach these young pups a lesson. What's something gaming related that the kids of today have easier compared to when you were a kid? And what's something from your youth that you enjoyed and these kids don't know they're missing out on it?" I mean, it's an easy one to go to, Jeff, but it was fun going to the video game rental store.
That was going to be mine as well.
Renting games was really fun. It was some ways bad for the industry, especially like in the 16-bit era, especially towards the end of it. There's this whole weird thing where people were making their games too hard because everybody was terrified people would beat them in a weekend. And that's why you had things like a Lion King game that was stupid difficult, right? So there was like bad aspects to it, but it was always great just walking around there, having this actual place you're walking inside, and there's video screens playing clips from Back to the Future and Star Wars. And it's like, whoa, we can rent a movie and a game maybe, and maybe get some popcorn.
Yeah, it had a good smell to it with all that plastic and the popcorn and everything. It's like, yeah, it was special. It was really cool. And like, I mean, that sense of discovery of picking a game because of its cover, and then it actually turns out it was fun. Like, I mean, Kirby's Dream Course is the quintessential one for me for that, where it's like when I never actually owned, but I rented 100 times. And that first time was like, man, Golf Kirby? I think that's what they're telling me by this. I mean, Kirby's Dream Course, and there's a hole there, and he goes, okay, I mean, I'll give it a shot. And then take it home and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. And that felt really cool. It felt like you had discovered something. And, obviously there's ways to mimic that today with like going and finding stuff on the Steam store. But a lot of people are like, I don't like all this junk here. Like, I just give me the good games. I'm like, nah. This is actually reminds me of going to Blockbuster or whatever it was when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. It's X-Core said renting a console from Blockbuster in the suitcase. I remember renting a Dreamcast before it came out from Hollywood Video.
Yeah, we rented a Saturn and a PlayStation like in back-to-back weekends, and that was a really good time. That's the only time we ever did that, was just for those two systems, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, something game-related that the kids have today, easier today compared to when you were a kid. I mean, checkpoints. The checkpoints are very, very generous now, even like Resident Evil 4, and I'm glad about it, to be clear.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
But like, it's like you save in those typewriters, but it doesn't like if you die, it's not like you're going back to the typewriter. There's a million checkpoints it's going to take you back to, and you have infinite lives. So yeah,
right. Nice. You're not going to get misinformation really. If a game is out, there is going to be a dedicated YouTuber who has spent thousands of hours finding everything out they can about that game, and they will have detailed guides about how to do anything, and you will never actually be lost. So yes, all that stuff is way easier now.
Oh, and just translations and like voice acting quality, like that's just a gimme for the most part these days. For so long, like well to the PlayStation 2 era, or even the PlayStation 3 era, that just might be bad. Like
Yeah.
really weirdly written, like awful voices from people who work at the office. Sometimes even for big game franchises, like here's Mega Man 8. It's the 8th one. It's Mega Man. Bring it to the US. Who cares? Who around the Japanese office can speak English as a second language, kind of? You're Mega Man. like that. So,
Yep.
holy shit. Keywork says, "Stop, y'all. This is Nintendo adjacent. Internet Archive. Can you elaborate on what is going on with it in the US government?" Jeff, I've seen a little bit of this. I'm not entirely sure. I bet you are following this probably a bit more closely. I don't know if you have anything to say about the Internet Archive.
Yeah, basically, publishers have sued the Internet Archive. Book publishers have sued the Internet Archive for lending books as a digital library. Basically, they're saying that's against the license agreement of a digital book, and they've lost their first court case in a federal court. And so, the Internet Archive says they're going to appeal. They're just saying that we are a new version of a library, and libraries have had these protected rights for a very long time, and we want to enshrine this stuff. And a lot of authors are like, well, we're against this because you got to buy our books. And I appreciate that. The Internet Archive, you guys know how I feel about it. It is a special resource. It deserves to be protected and enshrined. And there's no guarantee that's the way it's going to go. Copyright in this country, in most countries, it is very much in favor of when a corporation has a complaint, it usually goes in the favor of that corporation. And these are a lot of big book publishing corporations that make a lot of money. They are probably going to get their way unless the Internet Archive can get support and put up a good fight. So yeah, it's scary, but I'm hopeful until it goes to the Supreme Court, in which case that current Supreme Court probably is not going to have any interest in protecting the Internet Archive. They're just going to be like, what? They stole your books and let people read it for free. Yeah, so it's gonna be rough. And then if that stuff, the worst case scenario here is that Internet Archive does get nuked and it's just no longer a viable operation, in which case that would just be devastating. It has so much stuff backed up on it. There are so many, and they were going beyond just backing up online, but like, we want to back up all of human history, and they started like taking documents, like hard copy documents, and putting them up on the Internet Archive. It's a special thing. But yeah, hopefully they'll be able to fight it off, and hopefully they'll be able to like protect themselves. And if you want to donate to any organization, Internet Archive is a good call.
Wong GIFs. After that, I have to say Wong GIFs. Wong GIFs says, "What's up, Mike, Too Hotty Minotti, and Jeff Pub Grubb? Might be a controversial opinion on a Nintendo podcast, but although Nintendo have made great games for a decade, they've always lagged behind their contemporaries in terms of storytelling. Even Fire Emblem is notable for one-note characters, and story are noted as being the one really weak element of Breath of the Wild. The Mario RPGs has some funny writing, I guess. Is Nintendo bad at writing, or is it just a secondary concern? What are the great Nintendo stories? I think it is not a priority for them.
That's right.
And I think that's fine. I think when they make good stories, it's really more that they're fun stories. Like Mario RPG isn't some like narratively rich tale, but it's got these fun characters. It's got, these interesting places you explore. It's got a lot of these fun moments. So that's work, and that's what Zelda games are like.
Yeah.
And again, like even like the Fire Emblems that I think have better stories, like Fire Emblem Three Houses or Awakening. It's not like they're about anything. Same thing with like the Xenoblades, like they're not about much except the usual power, friendship kind of thing. And I don't know if I need it to be.
Yeah, I think that when RPGs were first getting localized, it started actually being good when Nintendo started doing some of their own. Like Super Mario RPG had great localization. The Mario and Luigi games have excellent localization, just really, really funny writing. But I don't think it's just like it's not a priority. I think they do minimize story. I think Miyamoto's gone on the record about that and has talked about that in interviews where he's like, no, I'm going to minimize this stuff because it's not a priority. But I also think it gets in the way. So I think they just kind of like they put a brakes on it a little bit, and so the story gets sort of put to the side deliberately. But that stuff was also slowly changing as people like Koizumi get in charge. So I would expect story to become more important to Nintendo over time.
Yeah, Nintendo's never gonna like make their Last of Us, and I would not want them to. FAU is Austin Bound Bop or FAU. What's FAU? Well, FAU is Austin Bound Bop says, "Woof woof to my dogs. What are the chances that the Nintendo Switch's successor will be as easily vulnerable to crimes?" Yeah, Jeff, are they gonna really shore up the defenses for the next system, considering, excuse me, how easy this one is to hack and all that jazz?
The hackers will always find a way around. I mean, it'll be more difficult for a while. I bet it'll be really short up. I think they're going to spend a lot of research and development on trying to be as secure as possible. The hackers will find a way around. They just always do. It just is a matter of time. If they have to build a hardware solution, they'll do that. If they can inject software using any number of methods, which always, these systems aren't open, but you can do a lot of things in these games. They'll find a way around. So it'll be short up for a while. And that'll be enough, and then they'll come out with a new system after that.
All right, Clink says, "Hi, Mike, proprietary pretzel solution Minotti, and Jeff, just 2 more plain hot dogs Grubb. With the eShop now closed, can we get a few words in memory of Rusty Slugger?" Yeah, Rusty Slugger's dead, Jeff, so why don't you eulogize him?
Yeah, that poor bitch deserved better. That's what I'll say.
I like it. Screaming Madden says, "Hello, Jeff, Charlie, Geringer, Grubb, and Mike, Tim Thomey, Minotti." Yeah, Tim Thomey. Yeah, I love Tim. I said Tim Thomey. Jim Thomey. Almost embarrassed myself amongst all my Cleveland sports fans. That's just me being stupid. Trust me, I know who Jim Thomey is. I take my picture by statue all the time. He's the guy who grabbed his crotch a lot, Jeff, when he was at the plate.
Oh, that rules. That's the kind of ball player I'm a fan of.
Yeah, he's great. With MLB season starting soon, Nintendo and their partners have a long history with the sport. Remember when Nintendo owned the Seattle Mariners? A few years ago, the Pokemon Company did collaborations with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters and Hiroshima Toyo Carp to sell merch with Machamp and Magikarp repping the respective teams. Anyway, what's your favorite Nintendo/baseball fact? And on the side, which Nintendo character would be the biggest Cleveland Guardians fan? Well, I don't. I have no Nintendo baseball facts to rival yours, I have to say.
I have like one, and you could use your 3DS to order like pretzels and nachos and hot dogs and beer at Seattle Mariners games, because Nintendo, was one of the owners of the team. So you could bring your 3DS, connect to Wi-Fi, and then you could have this little Seattle Mariners stadium app, and you'd open it up, and it would just have this like low resolution menu, and you could just order a Michelob Ultra or whatever and have it sent to your seat. It was neat, but I mean, obviously there are better ways to do that.
Yeah, who would be the biggest Cleveland Guardians fan? Somebody with good taste, but still is a perpetual loser. Maybe Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi.
Luigi's a big Guardians fan.
Yeah, and Wario would be very upset that they're called the Guardians now.
Yes, he would. He'd have a lot of opinions about it. Yeah, he'd be bring back the chief. Odo Leah says, "Hey, yo, Jeff, Delicate Blower Grubb, and Mike, Big Tuba Energy Minotti. Lush Cosmetics is selling shower gel that apparently smells like Mario and Luigi. What character would you want to smell like, and what's their fragrance? P.S. I did order the stupid shower gel. I'm weak. I'll report back if it's any good. Thank you. I want to smell like Bowser, and I want it to smell like burning brimstone kind of thing. Very smoky.
Yes,
ashy.
I haven't answered this. I hope it comes up, but I don't think it's going to. I wonder if I just search soap, if it'll come up. Let me see if that'll work.
You're searching the word soap.
It did. Okay. So I have this. It's from Squatch. I bought it from the hardware store to let you know it's a man soap. It's called Only Hope Soap, and it is an Obi-Wan Kenobi themed bar of soap. And
yeah, Dr. Squatch is that whole Star Wars thing. I've seen Facebook targeted ads about those.
Yes, exactly. So they got me, and so I've been smelling like Obi-Wan for the past couple of showers.
What does Obi-Wan smell like?
He smells kind of like lavender a little bit.
Oh,
yeah,
wasn't expecting that.
And then
I thought he would smell like sand.
And then in my drawer, unused and unopened, I have a Darth Maul red bar of soap. And I'll give that a sniff next time and let you know what that smells like.
What Nintendo character do you want to smell like, Jeff? And what would they smell like?
I want to smell like Wario's ass.
All right, thank you. Well, what would that smell like? It'll smell like ass with garlic. Right?
Yes, garlic ass.
One Up versus CPU says, "Hello, Mike, America's most wanted Minotti, and Jeff. How long until someone builds a Gundam in Tears of the Kingdom? I can't wait. to see what people build. People are going to build some insane stuff. I mean, it's going to be a lot of dicks. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
I mean,
and I bet
Anuba basically
somehow-
built the dick, so yeah.
Yeah. I bet somehow, Jeff, Nintendo is like going to be surprised and upset about the amount of dicks people build. Like they're not going to see it coming for somehow, but it's happening. But yes, I can't wait to see just the giant robots, like the full scale USS Enterprise and stuff like that.
I want to build like a skateboard. I want to build all kinds of stuff. Yes, this is going to be fun. I just want to. I want to get in there, see what I can do, and then I want to go on. At this point, TikTok. It will probably be a good place if it's it's going to be banned, of course, by then. But go on TikTok and see a bunch of people just building all the craziest stuff in the world and then using them in really creative ways.
Yeah. Big Tony says, "My dogs. It's WrestleMania week. Any matches you guys are looking forward to?" Thanks. Oh yeah. So it's Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think what I'll probably do is I'll definitely watch Sunday live, and maybe I'll just watch Saturday's show right before that.
That's a good card
Yeah.
across the board, though.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get away again for another weekend, Jeff. If you want, you can come over Sunday. We can watch it, but
I
know
got that trip coming up on Tuesday, so I won't be
yeah.
able to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You're fine. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Sami
very excited.
Zayn, Kevin Owens versus the Usos, for sure. Austin Theory versus John Cena. I'm looking forward to actually.
Still not sold on Austin Theory, but maybe
Sure.
we'll see here. But, I mean, it's a really good card all around. It's what I know. I think Dan said on the Bombcast it's one of the best looking cards in a long time. I agree. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I do miss back when I was younger. I had more friends around here watching WWE. I used to hold pretty big WrestleMania parties, and I would get the balloons to match whatever color scheme, and I really decorated a lot. It was a good time. But hopefully I'll get a couple people who want to come over and watch it and have some fun.
Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
That's right.
I
can't wait.
I can't
It's gonna
wait.
be amazing.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right. Big Tony says that's his Gigantes 42. Like
Gigantes.
Pirates. Gigantes says, "Good evening to my dogs. Baseball's right around the corner as opening day is Thursday. Any thoughts on the rule changes? Pitch clocks, bases the size of pizza boxes. Should be a fun year. Go Giants." I can't wait for baseball. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Jeff, we're gonna have to go to some games.
Yes, I'm
look,
looking forward to that.
Yeah, I haven't been watching spring training. I don't have a philosophical problem with the pitch clocks.
Me neither.
I think
I like them. I think.
I get it. You speed up the game a little bit. It's fine, and I understand it's going to have lead to some frustrating moments where something exciting is going to be ruined because a pitcher didn't pitch fast enough. Well, all right, the pitcher's got to pitch a little faster.
Yep. Get used to it.
Yeah. Look, I like baseball, and I want it to be more popular, and I do think speeding up the game a little bit might help. So, why not? I actually didn't know about the bases being bigger, so we'll see about that, I guess. But man, I love baseball. I'm so excited for it. I'm glad that the show games are just on Game Pass now, because I always just sort of check them out. Although part of me is curious to try out that Switch version and see what that's like, but I'm not that curious.
Yeah, no, I'll just play it on Game Pass. That's very cool.
Yeah, I always forget. Are you a big Detroit Tigers fan, or are you ready to just?
In the past, I've been a huge
Guardians?
Tigers fan. I am a Tigers fan. I won't be able to be a Guardians fan, but I'll listen. I have no problem rooting for the Guardians when I'm there and stuff like that. Just if they're playing the Tigers. But yeah, I in the past been a huge Tigers fan. I really like playoff baseball a ton. It's one of my favorite things.
It's amazing.
Yes.
I love it.
So the year when the Red Sox went, I watched that whole entire playoff run, and that was so awesome. And then the Cubs.
Yeah, well, I didn't. Well, they had to step over the Indians at one point. Well, I forget the second one was more heartbreaking when they won 2007 and we lost to them because we were up 3-0 or something.
Yeah, so
that first one, it was a big deal.
I mean, October is my favorite month of the year because a lot of sports are starting and baseball is coming to an end, and it's all fantastic. So yeah, I mean, let's go to some games this summer. Hopefully they're in the playoffs, and I would love to go to a playoff baseball game. Never been.
Yeah, I actually never did too. I could have gone to Indians one once, and then I was sick and you had to take somebody else. But yeah. Well, definitely, we should have a good team this year. Last year I had no expectations and we were great. So this year, now that I have expectations, who knows what's going to go wrong? Beef Hammer says the Switch is the first Nintendo handheld that didn't get an exclusive Kingdom Hearts game since the series debuted. How does Nintendo live with its failures such as this one?
We did it! Woo!
That's interesting.
Fucking A!
All right.
We did it, everybody.
I think Memory of Melody / Melody of Memory could have been that, but like, why not just release that on PlayStation 4? Also, I think is what they realized. So, but it is weird. I definitely think I do think that they realize that their strategy of releasing 10 spin-off games in between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 maybe wasn't the greatest thing in the world to do, and they've clearly slowed down on that. So, yeah. I hate you, Jeff. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, "Hey Jeff, the holes are where I plant the hot dog stand sends me Grubb. Yeah, those hot dog trees will be blooming any day now.
Yeah,
Jeff.
any moment now.
Yeah, and Mike freshly added to the no-fly list Minami. You saw that video.
No, wait, what happened?
You saw the guy arrested for the.
Oh yes, totally. Yes, God, yeah.
For people who don't know, there's this video of this guy being arrested because he opened up like the emergency hatch on his grounded plane, I think, in LAX. Or somewhere in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yes, while boarding.
Yeah, the guy looks a lot like me. Now his gut's bigger than mine. I do want to say, not to hit this guy while he's down, but his face looked a lot like me. Lenny says, going through the eShops before they closed, I remember that Nintendo used to translate old games to sell on the Virtual Console. Sin and Punishment, The Mysterious Murasami Castle, Earthbound Beginnings. And I was wondering, when Nintendo translate over Japanese only games for NSO, or is that too much effort for Nintendo's subscription service? So the last like old game that they have translated was the original Fire Emblem, and they did not add that to NSO. They made you pay for that.
Yeah.
So sadly, I don't think it's going to happen. Like if we get Mother 3 finally translated, they're not just throwing that on the Game Boy Advance NSO store, unless they really think this is going to help us sell a lot of NSO Plus subscriptions. They are going to just sell that as a separate thing.
Was Sin and Punishment wasn't even translated, right? They just put the Japanese version on there.
It was always. I think that game was just always kind of in English anyway, so it was easy for them to do. That's what people are saying. Apparently, Earthbound Beginnings even like that was translated way back, maybe according to Cascoder here, and it was just unreleased, so maybe it wasn't.
Sin and Punishment was always in English. Okay.
So there you go. Bet JC says, "Hey dogs, last Thursday was my 2-year Game S anniversary. No question. Just wanted to say, keep up the great work." Thank you, Bench. I appreciate it.
2 years. That's actually really incredible. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while, but we've only been popular for about a couple of years.
A couple of minutes now. Yeah.
Yeah. Running Wyatt says, "Dogs, the 3D Mario team and the Zelda are hanging on a cliff with their grip slipping. Oh no. Using all your might, you can save one of the teams, but the other plummets to the abyss.
Jesus.
He's safe." Wow, that's rough. That's rough, Jeff.
I think I saved the Mario team, even though the Zelda, like Breath of the Wild's, like I think still my favorite, and Link's Awakening, like they're vying for my top game of all time. But I feel like if it's like the last game was Breath of the Wild, if this happens after Tears of the Kingdom and we've got both, I'm like, they could die now. That's cool. They don't have to make another one.
I'm sorry, but I need that 3D Mario team. Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly.
Was just one of my, that's like the best game in the last decade. I love that game.
Yeah. It's just like if Tears of the Kingdom comes out and it's as good as I want it to be, they could go 50 years without making another. So that's a crazy thing to say, but that's like, man, they did it back to back. Here it is. Mario games just kind of need to keep coming. They really do need to just keep coming.
And I'm going to be very excited to hear about that. All right. Next one here's from Ed. With Tears of the Kingdom destined to be another mega hit, do you think we'll ever see a more traditional 3D Zelda game again? Or is this what 3D Zelda is now? Games in the Breath of the Wild style have infinite creative potential for the devs. Not to mention when Nintendo finally releases new hardware, they'll be able to do even crazier things. Personally, Tears of the Kingdom isn't doing anything for me, but I'm happy for everyone that's hyped. I mean, you said this before, Jeff. We had a lot of games that were like Ocarina of Time. This is only the first one that's like Breath of the Wild. There will certainly be more of these for a bit. I wouldn't be shocked if we get more of those like old elements into these games. Like if this one doesn't have dungeons, one of these is going to have dungeons at some point. And things like that.
That's right.
I definitely think this is the formula for a while. But having said that, there's definitely going to be a time where like, just like how they kind of made like the sequel to Link to the Past all those years later with Link Between Worlds. I wouldn't be shocked if they made something that was very Ocarina of Time, or even Wind Waker.
I mean, even like a full Ocarina of Time remake, followed by.
Well, that's very possible. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, they'll get around to it at some point. It'll take some time, but I mean, they're not going to abandon this branch that has made them just an endless amount of money.
if the next Nintendo console was ever like trying to really actually push its graphical fidelity, a good way of showcasing that would be to have an Ocarina of Time remake, for sure. Boy, a big adventure says, "Good evening, Nintendogs. With Dolphin soon coming to Steam and making it even easier to play GameCube and Wii games on the Steam Deck, do you think you'll be trying more games on it?" Oh, sure. I mean, you know me, I'm a bit of a GameCube collecting slut, so I like want to actually get those games. But you know what? There's some Wii games actually that I need to try, like Wario Land, Shake It, stuff like that. So I think that's maybe where I'm gonna put some of my attention. Also, it's been a while since I played Mario Galaxy 2, which is just super cool. So maybe I can kind of figure out how to get that running. Also,
Yeah, I got Dolphin running pretty much constantly, so now I'll be playing it as much as I have been.
Seriously, on Discord, I'll be messaging him and I'll see like what he's playing, and it's usually Dolphin is what it says.
It's I'm usually testing stuff. Right now, I'm actually trying to get Dolphin running with MGMBA. I haven't actually done much with this, but I'm like, I got all the stuff ready to go to see if we can do Four Swords Adventures on Giant Bomb. So yeah, we're gonna try to make that happen over network. And it's like, okay, I'll get Dolphin open. I'll start messing around with this, see what I need to do. And it's like, that's exciting to me. I love doing that kind of stuff.
Who do you think the 4 players would be?
I think it would probably be me, Dan, Jan, and you.
Yeah, all right. Let's go.
We'll see. Because
right.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the timing looks like.
All right here, and then MDY says, "Hey there, Jeff, Ultra Hands Grubb, and Mike Raw Meat Arrow Minotti. What inanimate objects are you hoping to try to fuse to an animate object in Tears of the Kingdom? Thanks, fellas. I want to put a slab of meat on a cow just to like terrify it."
Wow, that's fucked up. That's really messed up, Mike. That's you go to church with that mouth? That's messed up.
Happy Easter, everybody.
What inanimate object are you hoping to try to fuse to an animate object? Yeah, okay. I don't know. I think I'll
give
just
a fish a sword.
Yeah, fish a sword, a plank of wood on just like, you know, on a frog or something like that. So when it hops, it looks all stupid. Yeah, that'd be good.
Becca Knights is asking, isn't Four Swords just included with Link to the Past Game Boy Advance? That's Four Swords. We're talking about Four Swords Adventure, the GameCube sequel, which is a more fleshed out game.
Yes, exactly.
And then Laser Wolf says, "Hello, Jeff, Big Daddy Cool Grubb, and Mike, Big Pop Minotti." That's what I like here. Yeah, let's hear it for my freaks. In honor of WrestleMania this weekend, if there was an all Nintendo character WrestleMania, what matches would main event each night? I mean, you have to have Daisy versus Peach night 1, and what would be like? I mean, you know, Mario versus Bowser is a bit obvious. We did that before. That was at WrestleMania 3.
Right. Yeah, that's the classic one that everything's trying to live up to. Yeah, that set the tone.
Like it was a big deal at the Silver Dome back in the day, but we've moved past that. So now, you know, now it's Luigi versus Waluigi, new generation.
I think it's like yeah, like DK actually teaming out. No, the tag team match wouldn't be in the for the.
No, it could maybe be a triple threat. That's happened before.
Yeah.
And then next one here is from Chaos Buckaroo. It says, "Howdy, fellas. I started Dragon Quest 11 this week. It is fun. I am feeling the pressure to get through this big boy and a few other games before Tears of the Kingdom takes over my life. My mouth dropped when 3 hours in, the opening title appeared. Yeah. What game did you all get the furthest in before the title appeared? My record is 7 or 8 hours in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Holy shit.
Man, those games.
Yeah, that's Dragon Quest 11 probably is up there. Now that you say that, I do remember that title not dropping for quite a bit. I'm trying to remember when Xenoblade Chronicles 3 did its title drop. I feel like that might have been later, but I'm not actually sure now.
Yeah, I'm like, I remember registering this before, but I'm not gonna remember the game or anything like that. But I mean, listen, I love a good title card. I love a late title card. Give me all the late title cards you want.
Always gets a pop out.
Exactly. Yeah, here we go. Or it's like, oh my God, I just got started. I mean, either way, that's fun.
Hosp says, "Hey, dogs. Well, now I'm fucking hyped. Any last ridiculous Tears of the Kingdom predictions / hopes you want to throw out there? I want Vati. Give me Vati. Bring me Vati."
Yeah, I think that is like the ridiculous predictions. Is that the Minish will be in there, and the Windfish will be in there, like all these all these references to other Zelda stuff. What's a Zonai?
Zonai? What?
Yeah. So this is like a big thing, like in the lore community, apparently, is that they mentioned Zonai. There was a Zonai ruins or something in Breath of the Wild, but that was it. And then if you read the art book, there was reference like, oh, this is a whole other race that was going to be in the game, and then we didn't put it in there. And it's like, in this trailer, they fought like that. One of the things, the little machines that Link was fighting was a Zonai, gizmo or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, the Zonai are going to be in this game. So it's like, okay, it's like, I think
apparently it's just something. It almost sounds like cut content from Breath of the Wild.
Yes, it sounds like it's going to be. That's it. So Sean said that's it. Okay, but I mean, I wasn't sure if there was like more to it than that. It just sounds like it's like, oh, there's Gorons, there's Zora, there is whatever the bird people, and then there's the Zonai and the Hylians or whatever. So it just sounds like a new race along those lines.
Is it like in like Elder Scrolls lore where like we have all these races, but the dwarves died out a while ago, and there's just like remains of them? Maybe
honestly, that's like might not be a bad analog. I have no idea, but that's kind of what it felt like looking at that little machine. So
I mean, it's funny. I'm hoping for Minish stuff, even though Skyward Sword stuff would obviously make more sense with this one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Skyward Sword references are probably a safe bet almost.
I want to see Scroose's grave. I want to see his skeleton, and I want his hair to also have a skeleton for some reason. Jeremy Biff says, "Hello, dogs. Hello, Jeff prefers to sleep on a beanbag chair, Grubb, and Mike prefers to sleep with his Disney plushes, Minotti. My big plush was actually my Sonic doll, which I think is actually over there behind the Rocketeer still. You can see him. That was the doll I slept with as a kid. With the rumored joint venture between Nintendo and Universal, what Nintendo games do you want with Universal properties? A Columbo visual novel? A Minions RTS? Some people say that Cruisin' and Mario Kart are the closest games to Fast and Furious. Well, I haven't thought about the possibility of Nintendo actually making a Columbo game,
It's
Jeff.
a me, Columbio.
I mean, look, like it's not gonna happen, but yes, I sure would love for some kind of weird Nintendo Columbo visual novel. That would be amazing. Probably gonna hold my breath on that one though. But what's disgusting, Jeff, is the most likely thing if this was real would be Nintendo making a Minions game.
That would be fucked up. Don't even say that. That's
I'm just
messed
saying.
up.
Like I would hopefully it'd be like, oh, they're making a Shrek game, but if that's actually like that, like Nintendo's going to adapt a Universal property, it'll be something it'll be Illumination. That's what Universal actually owns, so it wouldn't even be Shrek, it would be Illumination. So yeah, it'll be fucking Minions.
All right, how about Jaws? Okay, no.
Yes.
What about what about the Universal classic movie monsters? Like Luigi's Mansion plus the movie monsters.
Yeah, but that's kind of Castlevania's territory, just stealing the movie monsters for your own games.
Yeah, but make them even more hokey and just do them in the Luigi's Mansion style, and that could be like.
I mean, look, it feels like I mean, look, Nintendo could do that now. So I'm saying
that's true. That's fair.
Those are fair use characters. Next up here is from Octo, who says, "Yo, Jeff, 2 more plain hot dogs is my favorite vaudeville act, Grubb, and Mike, Game Mess polls are my Blight Club Minotti. My father spent the first year of my life making tape backups of ZX Spectrum games. It was the most useless gaming thing you've ever wasted your time on." Well, I've been in the process of trying to reach 100 million gil as a milestone in Final Fantasy 14, and it's been taking over a year every day of just putting stuff up on auction that I craft. So I'm at 90 million gil now, so we've been getting closer. So that would probably have to rank pretty highly up there, but I have fun with it.
Yeah, I like most of the stuff I do that's like that I realize is useless. I kind of just shut off my brain and don't even think about it, so I don't retain that information. But I mean, definitely. Well, oh yeah, go ahead. Do you have a?
I was just gonna say it's all useless in the end. Sure,
right? It's all useless. Like so, but I mean, anything where I've like spend hours and hours and hours trying to like get a really good time on some specific level of some game that people are not going to be playing 2 months from now. Like, and I've done that a lot of Trials games, a lot of the weird modes in Pac-Man Championship Edition DX and stuff like that. Spent a lot of time trying to like get my best score in all those.
No, my time getting top 100 in Neon White was very well spent. Actually.
Of course. Yes. That was just actually a good choice and a good use of your time.
DMC Depressed to Be Crying says, "Hello, Jeff, Wario Land 4, Super Mario Land 6, Minotti, and Mike, Super Mario World 7, Yoshi's Crafted World, Grubb. It appears the Microsoft APK deal is likely to go through, meaning PlayStation will meet a swift end. Nintendo ended up with PlayStation Studios What Nintendo games would you task the following with making? Okay, Blue Point. What should Blue Point remake?
So we're saying that these studios would now be under Nintendo and would be
Yeah.
making Nintendo games.
Yeah, so what Nintendo game should Blue Point make?
I mean, we were talking about
They're
Ocarina
gonna
of
remake
Time.
something.
Ocarina
Yeah,
of
have them remake Ocarina of Time, I guess.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, if I could branch out, I would kill for a Blue Point remake of Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, but that's not exactly
Sure.
Nintendo.
Yeah, that would rule. Santa Monica, so the God of War team.
Yeah.
They're gonna make. I mean, Kid Icarus was an easy one just
Do I?
because it's like, oh, that's also like God.
Oh, that's
and stuff.
good. I like that.
Sure, they can make the new Kid Icarus.
Yeah.
Housemark. How do you say that actually?
Housemark. Yeah, I always thought it was House Marquee, but it's Housemark.
Yeah, Housemark.
So it's a good shoot. They can make the Rusty's Real Deal baseball game. There you go.
Okay.
It'd be
I like that.
completely waste their talents. Oh, Metroid's
Insomniac.
good. Metroid's an interesting one, Sean. That'd be
Metroid's fine. Yeah. Insomniac. Okay, there's a.
Jet Force Gemini.
Oh, that's kind of fun, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jet Force Gemini. There's something I haven't thought about. Well, you have them make that Star Tropics game for me.
There
Actually,
you go.
there you go.
Yes.
Since they're their best studio, and then Team Asobi.
A Waluigi platforming game.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Like it. Inufe says, do you think if Prime 1 sells enough, 2 and 3 could get the same treatment? So, Jeff, do you think there's any... You've been saying that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 are coming to Switch, but they're not going to get as much of a glow up as Metroid Prime 1 did. Do you think there's any chance of that changing?
Probably not. And like, I'll just say, like, the plan I heard was Metroid Prime 1 would get the big boy remake. It would come out. And then 2 and 3 would come at some point. But they wouldn't get the same exact update. They would get sort of an HD version with, the better controls. But that was the plan. And that plan changed because Prime 1 came out later than was expected. And Shadow dropped and did also other stuff. So the plan could always change. And maybe 2 and 3 actually never come out. But what I heard, and that this hasn't changed, is that 2 and 3 are supposed to come out with the HD sort of, little brother remasters, excuse me.
Jump Matt says, evening, Jeff Stud Grubb,
Thank
and
you.
Mike Naughty Minotti. In Japanese folklore, raccoon dogs use their gigantic testicles as weapons, drums, and makeshift raincoats, which leads me to ask, why is Mario not using the Tanuki suit to its full potential? Even in a Tanuki suit, Jeff, I'm sorry to say, Mario still has incredibly tiny testicles.
Now, what if it's the opposite? What if they're so massive that we can't even perceive them? It's just like
that's not,
it's
that's
like
not how that
it's like
works.
the Earth, like the whole world. That's what he's running on.
He's running on his giant, unseeable testicles, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like just the platforms themselves are composed of the testicles.
Moving on, Turbo
I think it
Star
makes a
says,
lot of
"Hey
sense.
Jeff, hey Jeff, Pull Master Grubb, and Mike Airport Arrest Minotti. If you were to use the 3DS as a weapon,
Nuts.
how would you use it? I would use it as a torture device for severing fingers using the clamshell design. Keep up the great work. Well, I would attach it to a stick and then use it to bludgeon my enemies. As I've learned about, and I wonder if this was inspired. Yeah, this must have been inspired.
Yeah,
by
a lot of these questions came out after that. Yes, I would break it apart and I would attach the top part, the bottom part with like a rope, and then use it as a nunchaku.
I like that. That's good.
You got a back itch or something? You rubbing your
I
back
got
with
a
the
little
bear?
itch. Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
little itch, and I don't want to like reach around for it.
Yeah, sure. No reach arounds on this show.
Yeah. Bayleaf Moon says, hey, Mike, I discriminate against Australians, Minotti, and Jeff, I discriminate against Disney adults, Grubb.
And people from Pittsburgh, but yes.
We now have seen some amazing mechanics in Tears of the Kingdom. Can you imagine if they implement dungeons with these mechanics in mind, needing to gloop through a floor above you to finish a puzzle on the floor below, or combining keys with other items to get past the door? How much of a possibility do you think this is? Honestly, Jeff, I'm almost kind of like... I know you mentioned that we can't see shrines in the games in that gameplay demo we saw, but I'm beginning to feel like dungeons are not on the table. Really, it does feel like maybe that's something that they would say. I bet we're going to get something closer to shrines again.
I think there's dungeons in there.
Oh, okay.
I do. I think they're holding it back because I think they're gonna. They can't wait for people to discover it themselves and lose their minds. I think that's what they want.
I mean, there's got to be something that's similar to the ancient beasts or whatever, and maybe that is just dungeons.
Yep, I think it's
Something
really
in
dungeons.
between. Maybe something in between, at least.
Yep.
Breadfish says, sup dogs, hope you are both well. With the eShops closing, I find myself getting more and more annoyed when YouTubers/podcasters continuously refer to digital exclusives of those platforms as being lost to time, lost media, or inaccessible, when every game, DLC, patch revision, demo, and regional variant is still preserved and accessible through the magic of piracy. I understand that lots of these people need to toe the line to maintain professional relationships, but does it ever outright bother you when people pretend that piracy doesn't exist? Much love and do crimes. I don't think people are like trying to like protect themselves necessarily.
Well, there are a lot of YouTubers, well, Nintendo YouTubers will talk about how Nintendo doesn't like when they reference this stuff. And we don't have that kind of relationship with Nintendo. So
we sure don't.
so yep, there it is. But yeah, I think for the most part, a lot of people are just like, yeah, it's polite. This is polite. And we're being polite here. I think that's how it is, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. But I mean, I guess they're trying to make a point like, oh, that doesn't count. It counts. So
yes,
sure.
definitely.
I understand your frustration. JD Camp says, hey, well-groomed doggies, Reggie Fills on me, creator of the Bigfoot Pizza, came over from fast food to gaming with great success. Who from gaming would have the same success, and what place should they run? All right, Jeff, what restaurant do you want Jim Ryan to run?
Yeah, let's fucking go. Jim Ryan should buy a Shoney's. And
like Big Papa Pump.
Like Big Papa Pump. That's
like
exactly
Scott
right.
Steiner.
Yes, that's right. The Jim Ryan would probably have some great Shoney's freaks. And I would show up there. I'd get some delicious breakfast foods. Yeah, that'd be great.
Good work. Gratoto's Bazunga says, happy Tuesday, you sexy fucks. Wow. Which of the new abilities in Tears of the Kingdom would you like to have in real life? I live in a 2-bedroom home and would love to just teleport upstairs. That was the funniest. Like, that's
the best one for this
it's
question.
This almost useless ability to just be able to go above yourself.
But it's like, if you're ever below a bank vault, like that's pretty useful.
Yeah, well, no, because you're still just stealing from a bank, Jeff.
Yeah, but in this scenario, the bank deserves it, Mike. There you go. It's Silicon Valley Bank, and they've been very irresponsible.
Scenario, yeah, exactly. Hard to imagine. I mean, I don't know. The ability to rewind is kind of fun. I don't know what weird things I would do with it.
I mean, if I could rewind certain objects, I would probably be able to figure out some stuff to do with it.
You just admit it, Jeff. You would rewind the poop so it goes back up.
I mean, it's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, that's
what's wrong with me?
I want the poop to go back in me.
I'm funny. This is a good show. I'm glad you admitted it, Jeff. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Finally, someone could see through me.
I want you all to think about that. Then the next time.
Next time, yes, like, oh, I cast recall on poop, and then just sit there and let's see what happens.
I did. I had a dog who, sometimes dogs are weird and they'll eat their own shit. And I had a dog like that as a kid, and my one friend Dave, he was hanging out with us on the weekend. He used to made a lot of backyard movies. He said his biggest regret ever was that he didn't get it on tape so that he could rewind it. The full cycle. So it was coming out of the mouth in one take.
That is a big regret. I fully sympathize with him on that.
It's his biggest regret.
Right. No one else is on our page just here. Yeah, no one else is with us on this.
All right, everyone's here. Okay, next one here is from Lazy Nickname. Says, good evening, gents, and a friendly early spring woof woof to you on this fine evening. I'm in the process of setting up some vacation properties I own as an Airbnb. I wanted to put together gaming corners in them because I think that seems like an awesome idea for when weather is poor and such. Well, it'd be the perfect retro gaming corner for you to pique your interest and give you all the nostalgic feels. I mean, I definitely think that just getting some of these retro consoles would be the easiest thing to do. I don't
PS2.
know. Or a PS2 if you just want to get
You put a PS2 in there and a collection of random games with a couple of the big hitters. You're good to go. Most people are going to be like, oh my God, a PS2.
Yeah, but you got to get a PS2 and then you got to either have a CRT or you got to plug it in with HDMI and then you're going to have lag.
Yeah, PS2 with RetroTink. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, those Nintendo 64 controllers are pretty cool.
I don't think you could plug a PS2 into a lot of modern TVs and it would be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, listen, a CRT would be great, but if you're not going to go that route, just people aren't going to care. The people who are showing up, they're like, if they see a PS2, they're going to play it. They're like, whatever, we get it. Of course, they didn't provide a CRT to us.
Can you get like a Genesis Mini 1 easily still? I
I don't know.
Mini 2s are expensive.
Can you get a
Genesis
PS1 mini actually still?
Yeah. Well, those are like okay. They're easy to hack and they're much better.
Yeah, but I mean,
They're all easy to
again,
hack.
we're talking about an audience that's going to be like mostly people who aren't going to realize, oh, these are the PAL versions. Like that's
Sure, that's fair. I still feel like maybe I'm being too naive to think Genesis and Super Nintendo are easy hits, but yeah, maybe kids.
I mean, I think a lot of people would be very down with that. I think a PS2 would be very exciting to like an even bigger audience at this point.
GameCube also, though, clearly people are very big into the GameCube right now, but that's
for sure.
A little more expensive. Let's see. Next one here is from
just buy a bunch of racist SNES minis.
There you go. Yeah, just follow Jeff's lead.
Got one right here for you.
April, excuse me. April O'Neil's ass says, "Sup, dogs. Just want to say it's interesting that in the 32, 64-bit draft, the system with the most Nintendo 64 picks won, and in the PlayStation, Xbox, GameCube draft, the system with the most GameCube games lost. Very interesting. A lol. Yeah, that means nothing
here.
Yeah, how dare you? Give me a break. Don't even. You can't even trying to trick me with that name, thinking you'd be my friend, April O'Neil's ass, and then you come at me with this. Wow. The Octopath Wolf 5 says, "Hey, Jeff, stealing content from Nintendo Grubb, and Mike stealing content from Nintendo and Giant Bomb and Naughty. Seeing Mike get devastated over all his games being called boomer games was really," he has funny crossed out that says, "interesting. Reminded me of how I would feel disheartened as a kid when my friends call my favorite games trash. Do you guys have any vivid memories of this type of thing happening in the past?" I do remember getting a call. I was a Sega fanboy as a kid. I remember my one friend called me when he got to play the PlayStation for the first time, and I was already very pro Sega Saturn and all this stuff. My friend played a PlayStation demo and called me excited to tell me about how cool it was, and I was very upset. I was like, I'm going to hang up the phone on you. How dare you? So not even really what you're talking about, but that's what I immediately thought of.
I got the N64 on launch day, only time that my parents ever did that for me, and I had some friends from the bus come over to see it, and because I was really proud of it, and they were impressed. And then months later, things got weird because it was school or whatever, and they were starting to be shitty, and then they were just they started to be PlayStation is way better. All this N64 stuff are kiddie games, and I'd be but eventually I did just beat up both of them. wasn't related to the Nintendo thing. They were just asking for it, but they're attacking me both on the bus, and I'm like, guys, I'm bigger than you, and I just beat them up. So, but I felt good vindicating Nintendo, even though that's not why I beat them up.
Jeff had a much scrappier growing up than I did. I didn't get into any fights. I was a good boy.
So, yeah, the ADHD does not help me with cooling my temper.
I'm not saying it was your fault, to be clear. If they're attacking you.
A lot of it definitely was. A lot of it be
maybe you were a little shit, too.
Yeah, absolutely. One fight was just you wouldn't hit me, I dare you. Or there's no way you would ever hit me. I'm like, all right, fucking punch you. And I just punched him. So
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, how much is it going to take for you to attack me? I think you've come close.
I mean, we'll get there eventually.
We'll get there someday.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, then we'll close the podcast.
We could have a charity boxing match. Probably raise a lot of money.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be fun.
We'd die, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll be the Apollo Creed, but then my son, my illegitimate son, many years later, will come and beat up your son.
That's right.
It'll be great. But in the immediate future, my friend, Dave or something, will beat you up in Russia.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Your life's going to go downhill from there, is all I'm saying. Jay Tinch says, "Hey, doggy dogs. Jeff, I know you said today in the talkover that you think Tears of the Kingdom will get a remaster upgrade on the next Nintendo hardware.
Yeah, some
I agree with
re-release
this theory.
Yeah.
They just upgrade Breath of the Wild 2 and sew them together since they are very similar. And upgrading one should let them upgrade the other easier. I'm thinking about how Miles Morales being a cross-gen SKU also gave Insomniac the tools to push just the remaster 2018 as well. Obviously it's not all the work's done there, but you imagine that whatever they do to remaster or spruce up the one game for the next Switch, they could just do to the other one, right?
Yeah, I think so, and that makes a lot of sense. I just think what seems likely to me is that they will put out a, whatever their equivalent to the Game of the Year edition would be, that includes the DLC for the next system with some upgrades and things like that, just so that could be the one on the shelves and they can have it all good to go. And even if it includes the DLC, maybe they charge $80 for it or whatever they want to do with that. But to me, I think Breath of the Wild might get a treatment where it's like, yeah, a lot of these games will run on this thing anyhow, and we could re-release them, but maybe it's time, because they are so old, that for most of these games, we actually just start like charging $50 for them and just let them be like the last gen greatest hits. I think there's maybe a fork in the road for a lot of these games. A lot of these games that are just going to keep selling, they probably will just do some sort of HD, like, 4K version of them or whatever this new system ends up enabling. But yeah, I think they'll probably want to focus on Tears of the Kingdom first and get that out there, and then maybe do something with Breath of the Wild a little bit afterward. But you're right, in terms of the engine and all that stuff, it probably should be not 1-to-1, but they should be able to do that stuff pretty easily.
Turbo Sean says, question, does higher art exist? I think not. This is him reacting to me, reacting to Giant Bomb, reacting to the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom video. This is also uploaded on our channel now, guys. Turbo Sean's video reacting and mine, so you can check both of those out after we're done here. After you're done listening to us, please do. Thank you, Sean. Jedi Moss 4 says, what do we think about Nintendo doing a general direct in June? Is that still something likely to happen? I mean, you would think, Jeff, that especially once Pikmin comes out, they're going to have to talk about what's next. But last year we didn't have that big summer show. So it's kind of hard to say. I still feel like probably, right?
What's the question? I was trying to get this picture up for everybody.
Very nice. What do you think about Nintendo doing a general direct in June? Is that still something likely to happen?
Yeah, I think that it's not necessarily likely, but I think it could happen. So I'm not like 50-50. I'm like 60-40 towards something happening. They will probably have stuff to talk about. I don't know if they're going to have enough to justify a full June E3 timeframe direct. And that might lead them to do what they did last year, which is a series of smaller announcements. But
I mean, they gotta announce they gotta have a big holiday game. We don't really know what that is yet. You gotta talk about that at some point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. They'll have stuff to talk about. I think they're probably going to be in a situation where they, not probably. I think there's a chance that they'll be in a situation where they feel like they don't have enough to justify a full direct.
G-Man Sir says, hey, Mike, the third wheel of Giant Bomb is naughty, and Jeff, Anuma gets me rock hard, Grubb. Well, hardcore E3 sympathizers one day start blaming Nintendo for starting the direct format, leading to other companies going in favor of it over a press conference, thus killing E3. No, I think you have to be pretty delusional to blame this all on Nintendo. Yeah, somebody was going to figure out internet presentations. It is shocking that Nintendo, famously bad at the internet, was the one to get this all rolling. But that was going to happen. That's not what killed E3 necessarily. Maybe generally the idea of being able to just go live on Twitch and YouTube and all this stuff. People having their own platforms, not needing to do E3, and all these other factors like, the ESA being kind of bad at that, and what's happening here, the pandemic. All of these factors kind of come together to potentially kill E3. I don't think too many people are going to try to trace it back to this is Nintendo's doing.
Yeah, no way. I don't think so either.
And then X-Core says, good evening, gentlemen. I'm here to ask the hard-hitting questions. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I mean, I say no, Jeff, but I don't like fruit, so of course I don't like pineapple on pizza.
And I say yes, but if you say no, okay. It's a pizza.
Yeah, I don't get upset.
You put what you went on there. Yeah, I'm way over this one. Yeah, this is.
You
damn it! Fuck!
It looks like we both dang it.
I can't. Oh man, I
poor
couldn't.
Audio listeners.
Yes.
Poor audio listeners. Like, oh, it broke. We just spoke for we're talking to each other. I'll let the other one finish. We just had a Canadian standoff.
I'm gonna let it be pregnant.
Canadian standoff.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I find when the question is phrased as not do you like it, but is it pizza? It's like being pizza, some big honor, right?
Yeah. Pizza's just throw a bunch of shit on cheese and bread and sauce. Whatever.
This is prestigious. Look, I love pizza, and there's definitely better pizza than others, and I like to celebrate good pizza. But being pizza itself is not special.
Yeah, I like a pizza. It's basically this is a garbage pizza. We threw everything on there. It's
remember that chicken and waffle pizza we got from Mike's?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Is pineapple is that still pizza? I ate waffle on pizza, and that's still pizza.
So get ready for this. But during the Play It Forward that I did with Dan Record, watching me play Alpha Protocol, somehow pizza came up, and he's like, they have pizza in Italy, but that's not like real pizza. I was like, what
So
are you talking about?
yeah, the way I had it set up, I could overhear you guys a little bit, and that was definitely one of the moments I overheard. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there?
It's just because it's not like, I think it's all he sees is like the Neapolitan style with like the fresh mozzarella.
Sure.
And even I was like, so like a margarita pizza, you don't think pizza? Like, oh no, that's pizza. I'm like, then what are you talking about?
Yep.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's just like if it's not Domino's, then it's not. Yeah.
That's basically what it was. So it's like, well, they don't like have Pizza Hut over there. I was like, oh my god, Dan. Like, look, I'm not gonna be people that go, oh, Pizza Hut's not real pizza. Sure, but like that can't be the only real pizza.
Yeah, it can't be the barometer.
I could kill a pizza right now.
Yeah, I haven't had pizza still in a very long time. I might order some soon. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe WrestleMania. I'll order pizza for sure.
Yeah, that's a good
That'll be
idea.
Excuse.
That's a good idea.
That's it for everyone's questions. Reminder: next week's topic is what Nintendo game has the best name, just like aesthetically. What's the best title for a Nintendo game that exists? Not making up one. Which one has the best title? Okay, Jeff. We think we got a few more super chats.
That's right.
Why don't we do that? Then we'll talk about a little bit about some things we've been playing. We're already at a 2-hour mark here.
From El Grug, make AJ Minotti react to Turbo Sean, reacting to Mike, reacting to Giant Bomb, reacting to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Bonus points if you send him hot dogs.
Yeah, you won't have to ask him twice. Probably. I still kind of make fun of him because he did a genuine like reaction video to the what's that one called? The Last Jedi trailer, and I kind of made fun of him for it because it's not like talking; it's just literally his face, and it's like, oh. I'm his brother. I'm allowed to make fun of him a little bit. He'll definitely do that.
That'd be fun. Big Fresh 37. Have you guys heard anything positive or negative about that Kick platform? I'm not making much traction on Twitch, so I'm thinking of trying them out. I saw some weird stuff about Kick, and then I tried to figure it out. I guess there's like some weird like ownership thing. I couldn't actually figure out what the deal with it was. But honestly, my answer is I don't know what the fuck it is.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it, I'm afraid, Jeff. So that's I got nothing to say about Kick.
Yeah,
I will say I learned a lesson about maybe get a little too excited about that. What was that like one Twitter like thing that we all jumped on for a hot second and then it like broke?
Yeah, well, yes. I still have
Mastodon, the other one, yeah.
Yeah,
so Hive.
Yes, I still have it. I still check on it like infrequently, but it's like it's there in case Twitter actually does like do the final thing and breaks. So that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Which might be happening soon. We'll see.
Yep,
Jeff, we're gonna lose our check marks soon, dude. It's rough.
No, I know. What am I gonna do
anymore?
Yeah, how?
Imagine how upsetting it's going to be when we don't have that weirdly like bitter note on our things that says we may or may not be notable. That is the funny. I think it's not the worst thing he's done. But that's the funniest thing he did.
That was honestly
that message.
Unintentional comedy, but like pretty good comedy. That note, like, I like it a lot.
So clearly spells out like I don't like these people because a lot of them are journalists.
A lot of them are mean to me.
It's like okay, dude, cool. What anymore?
Yes, Hitch says, fellas. Last of Us PC is a disaster. Does this hurt and scare off future Sony PC games? I don't think so.
Is it though? I've heard a little bit about it.
Oh, it's real fucked up. Yeah, it's real messed up.
Shit.
Yeah, like it's apparently this is not it's bad on PCs in general, but on Steam Deck, the first time you load up the game, the first loading screen is an hour long because it's building the shaders in the background, and it's like not a quick process. It takes like an hour. This happened to me with Resident Evil 4. It took like 10 minutes. I'm like, man, what the hell? And then I'm like, oh, it's building the shaders. That's fine because it's going to run well. And of course it does. It's great. But apparently like it takes an hour to build the shaders and then it still runs like shit. So they've had some bad launches before. This does seem to be the worst one. But no, money's money. This is one of Jim Ryan's big initiatives. He's not going to abandon it. He's not going to be scared off. And honestly, he's not going to give a fuck. They'll fix it and they'll sell a bunch, whatever. Yeah, or they won't sell a bunch, whatever. He'll do another one.
It is a little weird. Like, why? Like, what's the rush here to like release the PC port?
Yeah, wasn't this delayed for a really long time, or was that the Uncharted? Was that the Uncharted thing that was delayed?
Are they worried about like losing interest because of like the show ending?
Probably
being away for a while. Is that what it is?
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, hopefully that Ghost of Tsushima PC port is good whenever they get around to that.
That one will be like going right into a sequel. They'll want to make sure that's good. So yeah, that does it for the super chats, Mike. At least as far as I can tell.
All right, Jeff. I mean, most of my Nintendo gaming has been catching up or on a Minish Cap. We
Same.
have we're going to do our discussion on Tuesday actually for that on the Game S Game Club. So I've been just playing through that, enjoying it. I was kind of like tied with you in terms of progress, but I actually that night went and beat that next dungeon, so I went through that. So I got a bit further. But yeah, I still like this game a lot. I know you've been
Yeah.
having your hitches, I suppose.
Yeah, I just I get thrown off a little bit, like you said in that the video today, the talk over. It's like, yeah, just it derails me pretty easily, which I think I'm surprised by. In terms of now we expect you to do this and figure it out. It's like, okay, you know what? I should be poking and prodding around this world. I do feel like it is obtuse. I do think it's more obtuse than most Zelda games, but not like it's not criminally so. It's just like, oh, that's odd. That's a little bit weird. And you know, it's a handheld Zelda game, so they can often be quirky. And when I am playing it and I'm going through a dungeon, especially, I'm having a real good time.
Dungeons rule.
I haven't been in a dungeon for like the last 2 play sessions because I've been doing like these. I guess I just did that last one, that second one. But it's like there was a long period between that dungeon and now there's a long period of stuff here with the library thing that I just did. And so it's like, man, there's a lot of stuff outside of the dungeons, and Eslo is still completely useless, and I hate him. So it's like, yeah, there's parts of the game where I'm like, I do have some issues with it, but overall, it's still a Zelda game. It looks fantastic. The way it plays is actually pretty fun. All the items you get are super cool. Yeah, it's a Minish Cap is cool. It's a cool game.
Yeah, I don't want to be like the obnoxious like fan who's like, this guy doesn't like the game as much as me, so here's why I think he's wrong. Like it's all fine. Like, to me, it seems the same amount of obtuse as pretty much all these games were. And it's hard for me to like, how do I quantify that? I don't know. But, you know, that was, especially in this era with like, you know, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, that was the formula of having these big sort of things between each dungeon that were sort of like,
yes, definitely
quests in the open world. It was the thing you did.
Yeah, Skyward Sword had a ton of that.
Yeah. And like the only other thing you could do is, I guess, instead I'll just walk around the open world and see if I come across like, you know, a heart piece or something. So yeah, I do get that. But boy, do I like these dungeons a lot. I do think they're some of the best. I love the items you get in them. I like that they are, you know, like you will still get a boomerang and a bow and arrow, but those aren't like the dungeon items. You kind of get those in the in-between things. I even, you know, I don't mind the in-between things. Sometimes they're better than others. Like when you're climbing up that mountain, it almost just feels like a dungeon.
Yeah, that's cool. I did like that
cool.
sequence. That sequence was very good.
Right. And I get like, you know, doing the library thing. It is this kind of long, like it's almost like the Link's Awakening, like a trade quest thing, except mandatory. So
yeah,
right. So I kind of get it, but so it's puzzles and it's like trying to figure out the Minish routes, like when you're small and stuff like that. I can get into it. The only thing I am going to yell at you about is when you criticize when you had to like push the one block to make it move. That's in every old Zelda game.
A lot of old Zelda games definitely had that. It's just
all of them did.
Yeah, it was just it was weird because it's like we're gonna pop you up in this thing. A lot of them also though eventually did get. It's like in most of those sequences you'd be able to move any of them. That also eventually.
I actually don't think that's true. I think
Link's Awakening definitely had. It's like most of these are just gonna move. I'm like Link's Awakening. That's the one I'm certain I'm remembering. This was like, all right, we're gonna pop you out. All right, you're gonna pop out here, and now here is a wall of those blocks, and here's another wall of blocks, and you go to move them, and it's okay. No. Yes, finally. Okay, what? All right. That is still bad.
Frustrating sometimes, but I think at least Link to the Past certainly did do that.
Yeah, and the Legend of Zelda definitely had its weirdness with like not being sure what to move or to set on fire.
Oh, well, Zelda 1, I mean, when we talk about obtuseness, it's like you can't, the walls you can blow up don't even have the cracks, right?
Exactly.
Like, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. So,
right.
Yeah. It's not a super, that's not really a problem with the game. It's just like me being on a roll of complaining, so why not keep complaining?
That's what I was like. That was like my one part where I was like, my baby is like, oh no, he's like, now he's in a mood now. And now it's like when you're hanging out with a person who annoys you, and then all of a sudden each little thing annoys you. There's like, hey Jeff, you're like, oh fucking what? Right? I was worried that was where maybe the mood had shifted.
Yeah, but it was for the most part, as I'm like getting done with these sections, I'm like, oh, there was a lot of good stuff in there. So
yeah,
still pretty fun game.
And the game, God, it looks good.
It looks great. It is a good Game Boy Advance game. Graphics are just so great. I mean, for me, they're timeless.
All right, Jeff. Why don't we start wrapping it up here?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm just gonna hit the
Oh,
button.
it did send a super chat with no message, but thank
Yeah.
you so much, Id. Id, if you want to just write in chat, I'll read whatever it is you wanted to say. I saw that you meant to send a message. If you want to type that in here, we will get to it.
Yep. Yeah, you got a second, but I think I'm gonna hit the music, which is gonna take us out of here pretty fast. So,
Got a second, Id. I'll see it. Don't worry. I believe in you.
all right, here we go.
Jeff, who's on Game Miss mornings tomorrow?
I don't know. Can you come on?
Is it me? It's me.
It's you. Yeah.
Believe
Shit,
it or
man.
not,
Yeah, I completely forgot.
It's just me. Well, that's why I like to ask.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, it'll be you. Lucy's I think she's in the UK or something. She might be home, but she's got just back and forth. And a lot of it's just like she's dealing with her immigration stuff. So it's like
Id wanted to say 3 cheers for weapon degradation returning. Hit
yeah, we did it.
Hooray. I did like that. They just should have shown like good.
Yeah, they just show it and then they move on. They don't even be like, "Hey, weapon degradation is back." They just show it like, "Of course it's here, you dumb bitches." I love that.
Yeah, suck it down. That gets
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you got going on?
What do I have going on? Oh, I guess we're gonna be on Game Miss mornings tomorrow.
Yes. We have the Jeopardy on Friday. Jeopardy on Friday.
AJ.
Yeah, AJ's playing.
Vote. Game Miss Game Club. Star Wars games. Vote now. If you're in the Game Miss
Ooh,
Game
I'm
Club.
excited.
Two words. We're just normal men. Just innocent men.